Blog Talk Radio.
Basically.
What the hell is that?
I'm sorry. Well.
Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show. Will and Thunder Show. Thunder. Will and Thunder Show.
Ridiculous. Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show.
Well, hello, guys. You hear that sound? They love us. They really love this. And that applause means that it's Tuesday night, and this is the Will and Thunder Show. I am Kevin Thunder. And Will Telltale, you out there, buddy?
I'm here. What's going on, man?
Oh, just another day in paradise, brother. Living the dream. Living the dream. Little down and out, a little depressed over this weekend. The football gods were not smiling on us.
Well, they're smiling, but they're laughing.
Yeah, they're laughing. Yeah, what a joke. That was a horrible game. But, you know, I mean, if the stars align and, you know, they find water on Mars and life, there's still a slight chance we could make it to the playoffs anyhow, you know, just to get spanked again by another team. So,
yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
I'm not worried about it. It's just there's other teams that suck worse than the Fins. So
that's right. You know, you got to look at the silver lining and everything. Have we picked up with Chris yet?
No, she's not here.
She's off in the abyss of Radio Land.
Yeah, she's having technical difficulties. Maybe the aliens got her.
Exactly. You know, she's the one always talking about the aliens when they finally, you know, caught up with her. You know, they're like enough talking shit about us. We're getting you this time.
They don't like all the attention that she's bringing to them.
That's right. Look here, shut up, woman.
Okay, we're gonna shut you up.
We've been doing this. You know, this is an underground movement for a long time. Just keep it quiet, all right, Cupcake? Oh, mercy.
Oh, wait. Here she is. Okay.
I've been here all the time. I'm like, I'm fucking here.
You were here, but you weren't here. You see, that's what happens. They make you think that you were here. They actually had you aboard the spaceship.
I've been listening to you guys all the time. I've been here since the intro music.
Well, right on. Well, welcome in. How are you doing today?
I can't get into the studio again, so
and that's
it's
why
the aliens. I'm telling you.
Well, that's what
you're gonna have to get off the old dial-up service, man. And, you know, get you some AT&T or something.
I'm not on dial-up. I haven't been on dial-up since 2009.
That Texas Instruments computer's got to, you know, needs an upgrade.
No, what happened though was, you know, she was there. I'm so used to her punching herself in, but she couldn't get into the studio, so she was sitting there waiting on me to punch her in.
Oh, nice. Well, good work there. Well, now that we got it all figured out, we're back. Here we go. And, you know, if we didn't have these little moments right here, it wouldn't be the show, you know. Technical difficulties is our middle name.
But I'll this is for me, I guess.
There you go. You know, we're going to have to change the name of the show right here from the Will and Thunder Show featuring Chris the Lady in Black to the Will and Thunder Show featuring Chris the Lady in Black and Technical Difficulties.
Yeah, I think we just need to just officially change our name to the Spinal Tap of Radio. Get it over with.
That's it. Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show, the Spinal Tap of Radio.
if you've noticed, I don't know if you've noticed this, but the logo that I made for the show, that's done in the Spinal Tap font.
Yeah,
I know it is, you know. It's so fitting, you know.
So, damn.
Oh.
So what's going on, Chris?
I don't know. I think Mercury's in retrograde because it's just one of those weeks where everything is ass backwards. Nothing is going right. It's just, I'm stressed out. I'm glad it's Tuesday.
The Monday's over, right?
Well, it's Tuesday, so I'm with you guys, and I get to vent a little bit and move on.
There you go. That's right.
God. For the next batch of shirts, that I make up, I think I'm going to put something on the back of it, and it'll say, "Thank God it's Tuesday."
No kidding.
That's perfect. That's right.
That's so perfect.
Oh, damn.
That's right.
Tuesdays are finally worth a shit, you know, or something like that.
That's right.
Making Tuesdays meaningful. Oh, God.
That is awesome. That's right.
Well,
so, yeah.
We don't have any rock history today, unfortunately.
There's no history.
You mean to
rock
tell me there's no bass players that got mutilated or disfigured or
Nope.
No, this is our day of reprieve, you know? This is our day of reprieve.
No Jerry Lee.
All right. Exactly.
Jerry Lee didn't do anything this week at all? He didn't, open a Jiffy Lube or...
Oh. Do you know the funny thing is? Now, I was listening to the, program the other day, and they were talking about Jerry Lee Lewis and all the people that were around that time, you know, with Elvis and all that, and every one of them is dead except him.
Awesome.
He's like just hanging on. I mean, and it's purposely to threaten me. He's never going to die.
He's the most metal of them all.
I'm going to always look over my shoulder, you know. And I'm just kind of joking around, you know. Really, Jerry, I'm kind of just joking, just a bit. But, I mean, he's got ties to the area I live in.
Uh-oh. But, you know, I mean, just I gotta put this out there. If anybody's listening that has any way, you know, any type of contact with Jerry Lee Lewis, please tell him that we'd love to get him on the show.
I would really love to interview him and ask him seriously how it happened. They were talking on a local radio program around here about the whole situation with him shooting the bass player, and they never got into detail. They thought it happened during a recording session or something like that, and I was 2 seconds away from pulling into work, so I couldn't call in to be like, no, guys, this is what happened. But I would love to sit down and really talk to him seriously. I mean, I understand. I've been drunk before, okay? And I've missed the toilet and I peed on the seat a little bit. But, I mean, it's a millimeter off right there. How do you go from shooting a bottle out of somebody's hand and hitting them in the stomach? I mean, you're looking at a 3-foot difference. And yeah, not just once, twice. I'd really love to figure it out.
Well,
I'd have to do, you know, I'd have to interview him at a bank so I could sit behind bulletproof glass. Listen here, buddy.
Before we get into the news, the rock and metal news, I've got a news story that I want to get to. This I saw it and I was like, okay, this is so Will and Thunder show. When you think of somebody resisting arrest and running, you know, and then getting shot, you know, that story's been in the news a lot lately. Now, but apparently, you know, it's this type of behavior isn't limited to humans. Okay? Really? Because in Pocatello, what the hell is Pocatello? Pocatello,
I have no idea.
It's in Idaho.
Okay.
There was a
I
cow.
already know.
There was a cow that literally broke out of a slaughterhouse and went on a rampage through the town. And the police shot it once, and it kept going. And
you're not making a burger out of me today, bitches.
And they finally were able to shoot the thing dead. You know, it's like dude, you made it out. You made it out alive, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm free. Oh shit.
No, not today. Not today, son.
My only question is this: was the film crew of cops on duty that day? I want to know.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It's got to be on an episode of Cops. I'm not kidding.
Dude, I kid you not. Last night watching Cops, I don't even know where it was, but it was a fucking zebra running around.
Sweet.
Through a neighborhood, into an apartment complex. It jumps in the swimming pool. It's swimming around. It's making that god-awful, those squeaky noises it makes. It was insane. I'm like, can you imagine being at home and you looking out the front door and all of a sudden a zebra walks by?
Yeah, they're like, freeze.
I could see if I lived in Africa.
One time when I lived on Hilton Head Island, there was this deer that got something spooked it in the woods, and it ran out. It just bolted out of the woods, across the road, across the parkway, and actually jumped into the harbor, swam out of the harbor and into the Calabogie Sound, and before it finally, got its wits back together and swam back to the shore and chilled out. But I mean, that
happens here all the time, dude. I mean, this is not a year. Last winter, people are shopping at the Kroger. They're just chilling out, shopping at the Kroger.
I wonder if
small deer.
I wonder if sharks like venison.
I don't know.
Oh, that would have been.
But seriously,
awesome if shark had gotten that deer.
Oh yeah, but I mean seriously, if people were shopping in the Kroger just doing their thing, and a small deer had come out from the woods, got hit by a car, tapped by a car, kind of hurt, injured its back legs. It walked into the Kroger and was running around the store, knocking shit all over the place. Oh, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
The cops had to come put it down too. It's animals like that. It's crazy. I almost hit a cow one night. And it got it out of the pen, and it was just sitting halfway in the road, half out the road. I mean, I was coming home from work at midnight, and all of a sudden there's this fucking cow there. I mean, that's not something you see every day.
No.
But anyhow.
So let's get to the rock and metal news. What do you say?
That's right. Let's get to the meaty bits. Let's do it.
Yeah, I got a few of them. There it is. Right, we got the metal news for the week. Most rock stars are kind of a little off their rocker, no pun intended. But do you think that any of them, even Jerry Lee Lewis, do you think that Jerry Lee Lewis would be stupid enough to threaten the President of the United States?
Jerry Lee, he's crazy enough to do anything, but yeah, I think even he has his limits.
Yeah.
I think you'd like to think so, but I don't know. I really don't know.
I think so. Well,
I mean, you're talking about limits here. How far do you have to go to consider a limit? I mean, is he, look, I just shot my bass player twice for no reason, batshit crazy, or I'm gonna, turn to Jeffrey Dahmer and eat somebody? He married his 13-year-old first cousin. I mean, the guy, literally. And he was married the first time.
Maybe that's Al was running from. Al was away. It's running from Jerry Lee.
No offense to this guy. But Jerry Lee Lewis got married the first time at 14 years old to a 17-year-old girl and divorced her because she was too old for him.
That's metal, baby. That's so metal.
I'm like, work with me here.
Well, Scott Stapp from Creed.
Who's been an alleged nut job for years.
Exactly. Okay, now,
Well, he just proved it. Because
now he's become a certified nut job.
Yeah.
He was adopted by Jerry Lee Lewis. And it's his bastard love child.
Oh God. I'm not gonna insult Jerry Lee like that. I'm not gonna do it.
Okay, he was placed on a 72-hour psychiatric hold last month after confessing in a Facebook video that he was broke and living in the Holiday Inn. If he's broke, how the hell can he afford to stay at the Holiday Inn? Because that's freaking expensive.
I was just about to ask that. It's freaking expensive there.
Yeah.
Thinking the Motel 6, maybe,
Yeah.
Even Motel 6 is raised the bar a little bit,
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Well,
I'm thinking like the crack dealer motel, something like that. The crack whore motel.
And he said, at the crack hotel out on the balcony going, "Hey guys, can you get me higher?"
Oh God.
Sell my pity for a dime, just one dime.
Oh God.
Now,
that's what I'm talking about.
But anyway, he according to a 911 call made by his estranged wife, Scott Stapp left his home right after he was released from the psychiatric hold on his bike, shirtless, carrying 400 to 600 pages of documents regarding his Obama plot. He believed that he was a CIA agent that was tasked with assassinating President Obama.
You needed 400 pages to figure out your plan of attack, really? I don't even think video game plans of attacks are 400 pages long.
400 pages of paper because he thinks he's a CIA agent hired to kill President Obama.
Do you think when they're putting together Call of Duty that it's 400 pages long on how they're going to shoot everybody? Do you think Jerry Lee Lewis had a 400-page outline
about the bass player?
No, he didn't. No,
I don't know.
How to shoot anyone?
Goodness. I mean, how do people? I mean, no, but I understand that mental illness is a serious issue here.
Sure.
I mean, don't get me wrong here. But how does it get to that level? I mean,
who came to I don't know. I don't get this because you've got to sit there and wonder who, if anybody, approached him and said, "Hey, want to come work for the CIA? We got a job for you." And
I know, right?
It's just, it didn't happen. I mean, I'm getting flashbacks from that movie. What the hell is that movie? Where the Ben Affleck.
You're not helping me here.
Ben Affleck was in it. Ben Affleck and Morgan Freeman.
I don't know. I don't watch movies. Not really.
Anyway, but they were
the one with the guy.
The one with the guy who did the thing with the car.
My God, I've seen that movie. The one with the guy.
In the car. There was an explosion, right?
Yeah, a big one. The sum of all fears.
Oh, okay.
But there's a scene in there where they're where they've just recruited him, and he calls his wife, telling that he's not going to be coming home, and Morgan Freeman says, "Tell her you're working for the CIA." And he says, "Yeah, well, I'm working with the CIA," and she just hangs up on him. And Morgan Freeman just sits there
exactly
laughing his ass off. But yeah,
that's what my wife would do the same thing. My wife would be whatever. You better be home by 8:30.
Like, you remember, like, some of us, we're probably aging ourselves right now, but, I mean, remember when the big thing back in the day was, what's his name, Chuck Barris, the host of The Joker's Wild, they always said he was a CIA agent, on the fly. Like, when he wasn't doing game shows, that he was an undercover CIA agent. And it's like that was the big rumor that was around him back in the olden days.
Right.
So it's just like, maybe that's where Scott Stapp, he was just like, sitting in the Holiday Inn and watching too much Game Show Network one night. He's high off the crack from the crack motel. I'm an agent too.
That's right. I got to write this down.
Oh my God.
Wait a minute. Maybe what happened is when he was, he's sitting there and everything, and all of a sudden, maybe he's got the volume up too loud, and his neighbor, the person in the next room over, puts on a suit. He's banged on the wall several times, but not, he's got that, action movie porn going on, and so he knocks on the door and says, "I'm with the CIA. Got a job for you. Want you to kill the president."
Oh my God. You mean like in Home Alone when the guy thinks that they're home from the movie?
Yeah.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Poor Scott.
Oh, Scott Stapp.
He's sitting there and he's all, messed up on whatever, and he hears the TV from the other room, and it's actually just a movie going, "Oh, we need you to kill the president. We're going to make you a CIA agent."
Finally caught up with
like,
you.
Are they talking to me? They are. They're talking to me.
I know.
What can you do? What can you do?
So,
what else we got in the news today?
We've added another person to our list that's never coming on the show.
I'd bring Scott Stapp on.
I think I'm going to have an off day that I can't stand. I don't have anything. Like, why does your music suck? I don't have anything else to say. Just, why do you sound constipated when you sing? Why do you sound like you have a massive turd that's been in your body for the last 30-some-odd years that you're trying to get out while you're singing? Like, I wouldn't be able to think of anything else to say to it.
God. If you're going to say that about Scott Stapp, you got to be saying that about Eddie Vedder too. Because Scott Stapp was basically to Eddie Vedder what Ripper Owens was to Rob Halford.
Yeah, I think Scott Stapp sounds a little more constipated though. Like Eddie Vedder sounds like he's constipated, but also like he's in the throes of the constipation's almost over, but it still kind of hurts a little.
Okay, the king of that sound of constipation, you have to go further back to that. You have to go way back to Bob Dylan. I am so sorry. You know what?
No,
great songwriter.
We already determined that. Remember, he sounds like he's squinting at the sun.
Oh my goodness! I love it. He's a fantastic writer.
The sun.
Everybody, yes.
The sun's in my face.
I can't see a thing. It's like a vampire out in the sun, Every time you hear her sing, I have that old vision of the old vampire movies, and the vampire, the sun comes out, he just cringes back, hands up. That's what it sounds like.
Oh man.
We are having more fun than should be legal.
That's absolutely right. Most fun you can have on a Tuesday night with your pants on. And you don't even have to have your pants on. We're the radio.
Yeah, pants are totally optional.
Yeah, just don't let us know about it. It's all right.
Or you could if you want to.
It all depends here.
It's a little fun in our lives.
I'm not wearing pants. I've just got my my Forbidden City T-shirt from 3D.
I finally got in the studio.
I will never ever get that image out of my head. There, Will. Thank you so much.
I need a sound clip of the Imperial margarine, from back in the day. When the
Imperial margarine.
Yeah, remember back in the day the commercials when they ate the bread and it would go and the crown would come on. See, that's how old I am, children. I'll send you a YouTube of it. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere.
Will standing there with a Superman pose, wearing a T-shirt and a pair of tidy whities. It's horrible.
Yeah, I wear boxer briefs.
The Superman pose.
I wear boxer briefs, thank you very much.
TMI.
Thank you so much for clearing that up for the rest of the world, you know. It's been out there. Inquirer wanted to know that. Now they've got their story for next week.
Damn right.
Yeah, great. Now it's going to be all over the Inquirer that Will wears boxers to preserve his alien life force while we're all being frozen during the rest of the week to, you know, so the aliens will come and get us.
Well, yeah, after about 3 weeks ago, I started wearing not boxer briefs, but I actually wear a jockstrap now in cases of a freak, you know, cannon accident. I got to keep my boys, you know.
Now.
I am. It's a Dixie cup.
It's better safe than sorry, my friend. Better safe than sorry.
All
You know.
Bill, you're the only one who caught
that. Next up in the news, Kiss is in the news. This time it's their drummer Eric Singer. Remember a couple, a month or two ago, we had a story about Kiss, about Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons saying that they would replace themselves when they were ready to retire and go on. Well, their drummer Eric Singer says he wants no part of that. Basically, if Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons quit, he's going to quit too.
Really? So it'll be a whole
that
new
would
line.
kind of make sense. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Well, maybe they could get Ace and Peter back at that point. Like, finally, they can come back to Kiss because Gene and Paul aren't there anymore.
You've had Ace Frehley and Peter Criss with a different bass player and a different singer.
Oh my goodness!
Could it still be called Kiss? And I mean, kind of that does pose an interesting question. If it was down to that, where let's say Gene and Paul retired or decided that being replaced by cyborgs wasn't enough, and they just bowed out and decided they had all the money in the world, and at that point, Peter and Ace are like, hey, we need jobs. If they came in, could it still be called Kiss? I would think yes, because they're part of the original four.
It can be Kiss regardless of who is in it. I mean, the whole point of that story that we were talking a couple months ago was them continuing on with, I guess if Gene and Paul leave, at that point it becomes just a Kiss tribute band, a really good one.
Right.
You don't even have to worry about any of that because I know Gene Simmons, and Gene Simmons is probably already in talks with Disney, and they'll have animatronic Kiss full size, and then it'll go on forever and ever and ever. Now with the lithium-ion batteries and all that shit.
Don't you remember that horrible movie they came out with, the Phantom of the Park
yes.
or whatever, where they had the animatronic, robot Kiss?
Yes. Well, what was that other horrible movie that Gene Simmons did back in the day with the little robot spiders?
Yeah, what the hell is it? It's right on the tip of my tongue.
Well, then I have a question then, and if Gene and Paul retire and then there's no more original Kiss, would it then be safe to say that Midget Kiss is the next in line to be the next legitimate Kiss?
Hey, now,
after that?
I think you're onto something. There.
No, I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm not saying it as a diss. I'm saying it because they've been out there doing the Kiss thing for a long time, and I think if anybody has a right to step forward and take their place on the throne, it would be Midget Kiss. But that's just me. I'm not a Kiss fan, so I don't really know. I don't know how the hierarchy works in the Kiss army. I don't know.
I don't even remember which. Right. I don't even remember what show I was watching. Some show on TV. This is 5-6 years ago, and Midget Kiss was on there where they also had a midget Ozzy, and this guy sounded just like Ozzy. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's hilarious. That's actually hilarious because my boyfriend sounds like Ozzy when he sings, and he's like determined to call himself Fat Ozzy. He says he wants to, go.
Wait,
like
I got
when
an
Ozzy
idea.
has to stop reading the teleprompter.
I got an idea. since you got Midget Ozzy, Midget Kiss, and everything, there's got to be a flip side of that somewhere. So I'm gonna put together an act with as Dio, and it'll be Giant Dio.
There you go.
Genius.
Get a bunch of 7-foot basketball players, and it'd be insane. Exactly.
But that is a genius. That's a genius marketing idea right there.
And we'll go on tour with Midget Kiss and Midget Ozzy, and then I'll be Giant Dio, and
Giant Dio.
Oh, man.
I think you should totally.
And at the end of the show, they'll do a collaboration. It'll be like a rock metal version of the Oompa Loompas, and that'd be crazy.
There's got to be like a 6'7", 8, 9 guy out there that sounds like Ronnie James Dio. There has to be somewhere. We're determined to find him. If you're out there listening, if you're a guy who's really tall and sounds like Ronnie James Dio, then contact the Will and Thunder Show.
That's right. That's right.
Give us a call. We'll or email us or whatever, and we'll we'll see if we can put this thing together, because there's definitely an idea there. Now, and as a consolation prize, we could send in some Metal for Men fragrances by K.K. Downing of Judas Priest.
Yes, actually, if you're looking for something to get your all you female listeners out there, or anybody out there looking to get their loved one or their dad or the special man in their life a Christmas present, Judas Priest has got you covered. Well, former Judas Priest members have got you covered.
Yeah, K.K. Downing has got this Metal for Men fragrances, and I'm allergic to cologne and perfume anyway. But I don't know. I just don't like the idea of. I've never liked the idea of wearing a name brand with somebody's name on it, like Calvin Klein underwear. Why do I want to have a guy's name around my junk?
I kind of see what you're saying to an extent, but I mean, I don't know.
I just keep thinking of that scene in Rocky 2 where he's trying to hawk the cologne and he keeps saying "Smell mainly" instead of "smell mainly." Like, what does K.K. Downing metal smell like? Like, what does a metalhead smell like? Because, I mean, basically at this point, that there's not
all it is
there
is
really
each bottle.
isn't anything out there that's not branded already by somebody's name. You're going to have your name. Somebody's name is going to be on something you own. It cannot be avoided. And it's the way with music these days. I mean, music's not making the money, so they've got to become a brand,
There's two fragrances. One is Hellbent for Leather. The other is whiskey.
That's what I was going to say. What is it, Jack Daniels and marijuana smell? Skunk weed and Jack. I mean, I don't know.
I would think marijuana's a little too hippie for the metalhead crowd.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, whatever.
If it was Lemmy's cologne, I would say whiskey and crank, but and strippers, but
Exactly.
Now, I don't think that I would want to. I really don't think that I would want a cologne fragrance endorsed by Rob Halford, though. I don't think I'd want to smell like him.
Actually, if anybody would know what would be good for a man to smell like, it would be a gay man. If think about it. It's like, this is what...
I don't want to think about that, but thank you anyway.
Well, I don't mean it. I mean, see, that's the thing about straight guys. I mean, you guys kind of have to just stop being like that, because it's not... Don't think of it in a sexual way. Let's be realistic
No, I'm just
here. It's like, if you're a guy and you're attracted to other guys, I mean, as a female being attracted to guys, I kind of know what I would like a guy to smell like that is pleasant.
Right. No, I know. We're just playing.
So,
I understand what you're saying, but it's the same basic. I mean, honestly, the same idea as the Calvin Klein underwear. A woman doesn't want to buy a bra that a man has designed, Because a man's going to design it for looks and push-up and cleavage, and a woman wants a bra made by a woman who's like, look, this is comfortable, and it works.
Yeah, honestly, I was going to say, I don't. And then in that case, women are going around not wearing bras because they're pretty much all designed by men. I mean, it's just, let's face it. I mean, there's not a lot of women out there designing bras. There should be, but not. I would think that market's majority male, sort of.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I mean, but that's the same idea.
Well, you would rather wear a jock strap designed by a woman, per se. You know, like the idea.
Well, I mean, yeah, because she knows how to cradle, you know. Never mind.
She wants to keep those bean bags from hitting you, you know.
Absolutely, you know. Keep it tight and tucked out of the way here, you know. That's a problem with boxers, man. Shit hanging everywhere. Hit with a bean bag, you're done like dinner.
But I have to, I mean, if anybody out there has gotten or will be getting the KK Downing perfume for Christmas, post it on our Facebook or send us a message or something. What does this smell like? Like, what is going to be the trademark scent of a metalhead from now on? Because, you know, like we just determined it used to be whiskey and strippers and cigarette smoke.
Exactly, you know. It's just, you know, it's just dirty. The only thing that's in the bottle is, you know.
And not showering for a month.
You're in a, you know, hotel room after a gig and there's no ashtray, so you take the little plastic cup and fill it up with water and use that for your ashtray. They just drain the water into a bottle.
Oh,
so it smells like dirty ashtray and Jack Daniels.
Yeah, like you start thinking about other metalheads that would be putting out perfumes. Like you don't want Zakk Wylde to be putting out a perfume or a cologne.
Smell like
somebody
that.
like that. You know, he's notorious for not bathing.
Oh. But, you know, it's so amazing nowadays, you know. Look, man, when I was a kid growing up, it was like Old Spice and English leather. That's what people, I mean, you know, that's what they sold. Nowadays, everybody has these things. You know, even Pizza Hut put out a pizza-smelling cologne.
That's so metal.
No, it's not.
I mean, it smells like pizza.
So, like, you have enough balls to go out there and say, I want to smell like a pizza.
I mean, look,
you're not going to smell like
you like that?
You're going to smell like a damn Pizza Hut employee.
That's it. I mean, look. Are you kidding me? How many times have you been out in the club, man, and be like, listen, man, yeah, you know, we're just hanging out having a good time, and the girls just run over to the Domino's guy, you smell so good. Love the uniform.
Yeah,
are you kidding me?
Outside of the marijuana shop, you know, with your Pizza Hut cologne. Are you kidding me? It blocks you. Think about it. It's all about location.
You think bath salts were bad? That guy in Florida who ate that guy's face, can you imagine being outside of a pot shop smelling like pizza? You don't think you're going to get munched on a little bit?
You got the Cheetos.
It would look like a bad episode of The Walking Dead.
It's like that scene in Spaceballs where a hut eats himself to death.
I know it.
You're so good, boss.
What a great movie.
You got some guy choking on his, 911 called, yeah, we got another pothead. He's choking on his fucking T-shirt. He wore that fucking Pizza Hut cologne, son of a bitch. Wonder if it tastes as good as it smells.
I think I have heard of that they have like ham-flavored perfume or I think bacon-flavored perfume or I know they got bacon-flavored condoms and it's like, what the hell? Who wants to have bacon-flavored condoms?
Some people have enough. Some people have enough of a problem, attracting dogs. There's some people that dogs just always want to hump their leg. Can you imagine if they're wearing bacon, bacon-flavored cologne?
It's just crazy.
It's bacon.
Yeah.
Could you imagine how many lost dogs those people are going to find? Think about it. Just my dog's missing. All right, we'll just walk down the street with the
break out the bacon cologne, guys. Break out the bacon cologne. We're finding Fido.
Oh my God, Max, you're home.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I've just had a brainstorm.
Uh-oh. Everybody wants out.
We can start a lost dog recovery service. And all we just have to do is walk around with the damn bacon cologne and charge somebody $500.
Bacon and pizza cologne. We got it. The only problem is we're going to find potheads and bums. We're like, where's the fucking bacon?
Well, you walk up to your client's house and everything and say, all right, I got 20 dogs following me here. Which one's yours?
That's right. Any of these yours? Shit. And just look, and that just brings more and more business because then you get phone calls. We're missing our dog. What's it look like? Yeah, I got it. We'll be kidnapping them unnecessarily, and they'll just be following like, all right, just waiting for the phone to ring.
The World Thunder Show is a magical show. We're not only putting bands on the charts, but we are also bringing dogs home to their masters.
Oh, my goodness.
And creating jobs, which is something our government
Oh, create, yes, nice.
But real quick, our every weekly listener, Justin, chimed in and wanted to let you guys know that the movie you were thinking of with Gene Simmons and Kirstie Alley is called Runaway.
Yes.
I said Runaway.
Oh, you did? Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
This was a while ago, so but everybody gets it.
Thank you, Justin.
We have the best audience. They go out of their way to find stuff for us on the show. They do the research when we're too busy thinking of get-rich-quick schemes involving bacon.
And not real bacon, so we can have a really cool commercial because it'll be like, no pigs were hurt in the process of this. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Our little disclaimer. It just smells like bacon. It's not real. We make out of imitation bacon bits.
But is it?
No.
It's soy-based.
It's not people.
Oh, mercy.
No people were harmed in the making of this bacon.
And you sit there and you now you've got bacon and ham, and now we're all these different scented colognes that are out there, and you get the guy who has to call poison control because he's sitting there spraying it in his mouth. Bacon.
Well, they've got bacon flavored everything nowadays. I mean,
I know.
Every time you turn around, they've got the what?
Bacon flavored ice cream. I actually saw this on my grocery store. You know what?
Oh, yeah, they've got bacon flavored milkshake.
I think I'm going to buy some of that. I think I'm going to buy some of that and give it to my daughter and let kind of reminds me of a time when when my older daughter was little. I had a bottle of beef bouillon, and she kept saying, "I want some candy. I want some candy." I'm like, "I'll have you candy." And she points at the bouillon cube. I said, "That's not candy." "Yes, it is. I want candy. I want candy. I want candy." So finally, I'm just like, "You're not going to like it?" "Yeah, I will. I love candy. Give me some candy." So I gave her one. she puts it in her mouth, and she's like, "Oh, I don't like this. What?" But she kept I like totally fractured her entire reality there because it's like, okay, this is supposed to be candy, but she doesn't like it, but it's still, as far as she's concerned, it's still candy.
Exactly. It's going to fight her way through it. Look, I'm going to show you. Oh, gosh. That's like me one time. But my first wife, her grandmother was one of the people who saved batteries in the freezer.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? All right, so I'm going through this box. It's like a shoebox of batteries, and I'm looking for a 9-volt battery for one of my daughter's toys for. And you know how you check a 9-volt battery with your tongue?
Mm-hmm. No, I've
ever done
never
that?
done that.
Okay, well, actually, if you put both ends on your tongue, it'll put a little shock there. That's how you can tell if they're still good. Well, I'm going through, and I've been through like 10 of them. I found a couple that work kind of good. My daughter walks in while I'm doing it. She goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm tasting the batteries." Well, I said testing the batteries. She thought I said tasting. She goes, "They taste good?" I'm like, "No, not really." She's like, "Well, let me try it." Well, I got a good one and gave it to her, and she put it on her tongue, and it shocked her. Boy, look, she threw the battery at my face, and it talked me for about 3 hours. It was worth the little, abrasion I had on my forehead from a 9-volt battery. But I mean, it's just one of those things. It's horrible. It's like giving a kid a lemon, for the first time.
Oh yeah. So. So all we have to
It's a great radio show right here. We're telling you how to, abuse your kids. That's awesome.
Damn, I just had another idea.
Welcome to another edition of the Will and Thunder Show. Today we're going to talk about the 10 ways that you can ruin your child's life and give them therapy forever.
That's so metal.
If I want some peace and quiet, just hand her a freaking battery. Here, put your tongue on this. Zap. I'm not talking to you. Yes.
Oh my God. Parenting as done by the Will and Thunder Show.
We're like the anti-Dr. Phil show. This is like the anti-Dr. Phil moment right here.
We're putting you out of business, Dr. Phil. We know what's up.
Look. Yeah, this is the way you're supposed to do it. Let me tell you the easy way. It's like there was a commercial on the radio forever about how to change your child's behavior in 15 minutes, right? And I mean, it's still out there. It's a whole book on how to raise your kids and everything. We're driving down the road one day. It's like how to change a kid's behavior in 15 seconds or something like that. And that's what the commercial said. We're driving down the road. It's me and my wife, and the commercial comes up, blah, 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 and they talk about it. And at the end is where it has that tagline, how to change a child's behavior in 15 seconds or less. Because what do they send you, a fucking taser? Look your room. I don't want you. Okay, how about now? I'll pick up my clothes, Dad. I promise. Just don't do it again. Holy shit. My NFL career would be over right there.
Thunder.
Now we know why everybody goes after bass players.
You and I don't have Jerry Lee Lewis or the aliens to look after. I think Child Protective Services is going to be knocking on our door.
And I have no kids, so I don't have to worry about this.
Tomorrow I'm going to be I'm off tomorrow, so I'll be sleeping, and there'll be a bang on the door, and I'll be like, can I look in your cabinet, sir? Like, I swear I got food. I was just kidding. It's a radio bit.
Scott Staff's coming after you. What you going to do when he comes for you?
Scott Staff and Jerry Lewis.
I'm in fucking tears over here. I can't breathe.
Oh, no.
This is not a show you want to do with a chest cold. Welcome in. You want to be my neighbor? Come on. Wow. Golly, Bill. And you guys always wondered how I kept it so quiet here doing my radio show with 6 kids.
Now I know your secret.
Actually, the funniest thing, my buddy used to have a shirt, and it looked like, silver strips across it with a black shirt, and it's like silence is golden, but duct tape is silver. Oh, my goodness. They're going to come tear my walls out and make sure I'm not hiding people places in here. Where are the kids? I'm like, they're in school, I swear. Don't open that door.
Don't open that door.
Okay. I got to take a minute here. I got to catch my breath.
Okay, I'll just bring in the next story.
I don't know how we went from there. I don't know how we transpired that whole conversation there. I mean, it started with rock metal cologne to bacon to finding dogs and then tasing your child. I don't know how that worked together. I mean, there is no game of 7 degrees of separation that you can put those together.
We're a magical show. It's just
I really don't know how that happened, but it was funnier, damn it. Oh, mercy.
Anyway, last year the industrial band Skinny Puppy made news when they sent the Pentagon a bill for $666,000 for for using their music to as brain fart, as a way to entice terrorists at Guantanamo Bay into talking.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, this is last year. Well, now they've actually filed a lawsuit against the U.S. government for doing it. And they say that they don't want their music to be used to torture somebody. But I'll feel.
There's a simple solution. Give them their $666,000. Hire Scott Stapp. His music sucks anyway. So he wants to, do something for the government anyhow.
Well,
I'm just wondering why Metallica hasn't done that yet. I mean, they're always suing everybody else.
Well, the thing about it, the thing about it is, I mean, if your music is bad enough that it's going to make terrorists talk, then
you should be glad anybody's playing it.
Yeah, exactly. Just be glad somebody's playing your music, and hope they didn't illegally download the album.
Actually, I would take it as the highest compliment. I'm tending to think that if the terrorists hate it, my music must be awesome.
Exactly. But it just, I don't know. I personally don't care. Don't give a shit what they do. I think that they ought to step it up. I think that they ought to step it up and use Justin Bieber.
No, that's music that would torture us. See,
I mean, you got to think of the well-being of the soldiers. That's right. I mean, you got to think of the soldiers that are over there too, man.
That's true.
Yeah,
they're not playing with their headphones.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't. I honestly can't think of I don't think I've even ever heard a Skinny Puppy song. They're just, they've been around for a long time, and
they've been around for a long time.
But I can't remember. Yeah. I couldn't name them.
Yeah, I mean, me too. If you played some, I know it. I mean, because you go back there with Ministry, Skinny Puppy, things like that. I mean, there was a movement there for a while that was quite popular. But yeah, I mean, I as I said, it's not one of the bands I really followed.
Yeah, I didn't.
Right.
I mean, I don't think I've ever heard a Skinny Puppy song. I mean, I know the name. That's about it. But still, like we said, just be glad somebody's listening to your damn music.
Exactly.
I mean, if you don't want people, I mean, the way I look at it is there's no freaking case there because whatever soldier did it, obviously had the CDs with him. There, it's not like they just said, all right, we need some interrogation music, so let's see, order Rush Delivery on a Skinny Puppy CD. So somebody obviously had the CDs there with them.
Right.
So this was a
band. It's not like they sat down in a circle and it's just, let's think of the most annoying bands that a terrorist would hate. And it's not like, hey, Skinny Puppy is one of the top 10 bands that came up on our list. I don't think so. It's just, I think that they just went through the soldiers' CD collections and, hey, what have you got? What do you think would piss the terrorists off? Oh, this looks good. It's got something mutilated on the cover,
Well, then you've got, I mean, this isn't exactly a new practice either, because if you remember back in the 80s when they were trying to get Manuel Noriega, they blasted Panama by Van Halen for like 24 hours straight.
Actually, I kind of have to sympathize a little bit with that because if anybody was blasting Diamond David Lee Roth era Van Halen for hours at a time where I was, I think I would surrender too. I'm just not a David Lee Roth fan. I never have been.
I like Diamond. But
I think he's a great character. Like he's a character, and I love that, and I think it's entertaining. But musically, it's just no.
Yeah, Van Halen was one of those bands. I mean, they were okay, but I mean, you know what? For as good as Eddie Van Halen was, the band wasn't that good. I mean, they were super popular. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, the music itself. You go back and listen to it, and you know, to me, it's very almost generic to an extent.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I think David Lee Roth is way overrated as a vocalist. Honestly, like, and everybody always says how he's the world's greatest frontman. Okay, I saw footage of the US Festival, which is supposedly like the pinnacle of their when they were at the peak of their career, and with Dave, and they were just on top of their game. I'm watching it. I kid you not, Dave does not know about 90% of the words to any of their songs. And you figure a majority of their songs are nothing more than na 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 and, you know, skibbity bop a doo boo, and he didn't even remember.
Oh my God!
It's bad.
What?
I mean, it was really
bad.
Am
I really hearing this?
What do you mean? I'll send you the footage of the US Festival. You can listen to it for yourself. I mean, performance-wise, yeah, he puts on a great show, but to me, it's just, if I'm paying that kind of money to see a band, I want you to know the fucking words. I'm not sitting here like, how come you don't know the words to that song?
Wow.
But I mean, also on the same token, it's the same concert where he does the infamous I'll come down there and fuck your girlfriend speech, which is hilarious. So I guess you have to take one for the other a little bit. But, you know.
Wow. I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Are you really that big of a Van Halen fan?
Actually, my boyfriend is the biggest Van Halen fan that ever lived.
You know, okay, because, you know, to be honest with you, I don't remember.
I think I'm a little bit not what's the word I'm looking for? I think I do have somewhat of expertise on that subject to speak as I do, because I've been exposed to so much of their stuff through him, like stuff that, you know, demos and live bootlegs and shows, and I've listened to a lot of their stuff from both eras of Van Halen, and it's just, honestly, when I put it all together, it's just, I don't think Dave is all that great. I've never really liked him, and the more he's tried to, like, show me the virtue of how great Dave is, the less that I find credence in that, I guess. I don't know, just Dave's not for me.
Well, I mean, just the band Van Halen, and I mean, in all the years we grew up together, Will, I don't even remember you having a Van Halen album.
No, I had several.
I mean, we didn't ride around in the Cougar or the van cranking up, I can't drive 55. I mean
that's Sammy Hagar.
Right, no, I know. I'm just saying. I mean, and Van Halen as a whole, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of them. I think they're talented musicians, don't get me wrong, but I was never a huge Van Halen fan. I mean, it's good.
I'm not a huge Van Halen fan, but I would never go out and say that they suck either.
I'm not saying they suck. No.
Yeah, we're not saying that.
I'm just saying what I said was...
I like David Lee Roth. Yeah, I like his... I do like his voice. I mean, is he the greatest singer ever? No, but I do believe that he's one hell of a front man, and even today he still goes out there with a hell of a lot more energy than a lot of bands that are made up of 20-somethings.
I understand. I know what you're saying there, and I agree with you on that aspect, but I really think musically-wise is what I was saying, is I was never a big fan. Eddie's guitar playing was phenomenal, but you don't go and you don't look at Van Halen as one of these bands where you're like, oh my God, the musicality of this band is ridiculous, like Rush or bands like that. I mean, they were never, they were more of a party band.
As far as that goes, I think Michael Anthony is terribly underrated. I mean, a lot of people always look at Dave singing but Michael Anthony is like, as a bass player, and I'm sure you agree as well, Thunder, that he's one of the best out there, and also he's an awesome vocalist, which he never gets props for. I mean, he's so awesome a vocalist that Van Halen was using his backing vocals on the new album with Wolfie, which they don't own up to, but you can clearly hear it. I mean, he has a voice like no other. You can tell that it's him.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I agree with Thunder on this. I mean, Van Halen is a great band musically. I think they're awesome, but it's just I feel that Dave was like the weakest link out of that to me personally. And he's not bad. Just when you're putting it all together for the sum of their parts, I think that they were way more talented than he was. if you really had to break it down. He's great as a performer, and he knows how to put on one hell of a show, but as far as technical or musical proficiency goes, you could not say that his talent is up there with an Eddie Van Halen or Michael Anthony or even Alex. I mean, I kind of think he's the second weakest link in the group myself, but, you know, he's also very good at what he does, so, I mean, just saying that, but, I mean, I've always been partial to
you can't take
Hagar,
anything away from Van Halen. Yeah.
Hey,
I've never tried to hide that.
Tell us about our guest tonight.
Oh yes, we've got a guest coming in, and he should be calling in any minute. We're going to have the McGrath Project on tonight. They're they're a fun rock band, and they like to do a lot of a take on classic rock music. And tonight, for the first time anywhere ever, they are going to premiere a song that is not even going to be given to radio for another 2 months. And
sweet.
Because, Gary's a friend of mine, and because he's my friend and our friend of the Will and Thunder Show, he is giving us a brand new song that we're not going to hear anywhere for at least another 2 months. So, we got a world premiere tonight, and it's going to be awesome. And he's also got, we're going to play right now, I guess, since at the top of the hour, and we'll give him a few minutes to get in here. We're going to play a cover that he did for this upcoming album. And he'll tell us more about it, but the proceeds are going to the he'll tell me the name of it because right now I'm having a brain fizzle, but it's basically for like the Davy Jones Memorial Fund, and we all know who Davy Jones is, but he does a nice Monkees cover here, and we're going to play that and rock out a little bit and wait for Gary to get in here. So why don't we play the song now if you want, or whatever you guys want to do.
This is Daydream Believer by the McGrath Project on the Will and Thunder Show, and we'll be right back, and hopefully he'll be here when we get back.
Cool.
Oh, I could hide neath the wings of the bluebird as she sings. The 6 o'clock alarm will never ring, but it rings and I rise, wipe the sleep out of my eyes. The shaven razor's cold and it stings. Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? You once thought of me as the white knight on his steed. Now you know how happy we can be. Oh, and I could not start an end without a dollar was a bet. But how much, baby, do we really need? Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? Alarm would never ring, and it rings and I rise, wipe the sleep out of my eyes. The shaven razor's cold and it stings. Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen?
All right, welcome back to the Will and Thunder Show. That was pretty freaking cool. That was awesome.
That was very cool. Very cool.
Awesome.
Well, it looks like we got our guest here right now. Let's bring him in. Who do we have? Who's this?
Gary.
Yes.
Yay!
Welcome on into the
guys.
Will and Thunder Show. Welcome in, buddy.
Hey, glad to be here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that Monkees cover was excellent.
Thank
good
you.
job. Yeah. Well, I like all
that,
your stuff. So.
And it brings me back there, man. It's something I haven't thought about in a long time as a Monkees man. I remember being a kid watching the show, man, and you're hanging with your buddies, 7, 8 years old in the mall, and everybody, you're doing the monkey walk and all that.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Well, I know that you mentioned that this song is going to is for the Davy Jones Fund, can you tell us a little about that? Because I know I got a little info on your Facebook, but I don't know all the details.
Well, what we did was, David, I played guitar and bass and piano for almost all the Monkees on some level, one level or another, with their individual live bands. And when David passed away, his daughters, along with some other members of that camp, some of the songwriters and whatnot, are taking care of his horses, because he was originally studying to be a jockey before the Monkees thing exploded. And so now he has this memorial fund to take care of all of his race horses and Beavertown, Pennsylvania, and the money from this is going to help raise money for that fund.
Cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Now you've done a lot of studio work with a lot of famous people, like Ted Nugent.
Yeah.
Other.
I've done a few things. There's almost pick a genre of music. I've done something on it.
That's awesome. I mean, well versed. Have you been based in California all your life, or?
No, I grew up in North Texas, and then when I was in 2002, I moved to Los Angeles and was there till about a year ago, and then came back to Texas.
Which
so
is
a lot of your
you
studio
said
work.
you've been there.
Yeah, I mean, you've been in the business a long time here. So you do. Did you commute back and forth, or did you do most of your recordings and stuff through Texas, or when you were there before, or did you just...
Well, I've gone back and forth and continue to go back and forth. There's just such a really interesting music scene in North Texas, simply because the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which I'm based in, is really a hub because it's an even split between New York and Los Angeles, and it's also the same distance between Orlando and Nashville, and it's the same distance as Seattle and Chicago.
So it's kind of like a meeting place for all these various music scenes to get together.
Yeah, it is, and it's also, as far as its own eclectic music scene, there are 9 major music universities in the area, and they all turn out about 2,000 graduates a year each. So you have this flux of musicians that really study everything from jazz to classical to blues, and then you have this hodgepodge mix of everything from Mexican folk music to Western music to rock music to punk to blues, and it really does create its own sound, and which is why a lot of Texas music is more aggressive in a lot of ways, because if you look at blues, our big blues player was Stevie Ray Vaughan, very aggressive. Our major metal act was Pantera, very aggressive. Our main country act was Willie Nelson, again, very aggressive. So it really has its own angst.
Stevie Ray Vaughan was just inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, by the way.
Yes.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
After 9 years of being eligible? Or
Well, they get it right eventually.
That's right. Yeah. Eventually, that's right.
Let's hope.
It just it brings it to
day.
well, it brings it to patience. You know, it's eventually the good ones will get in. I mean, Green Day got in, and Deep Purple hasn't. So it's just
Oh, they did.
Patience.
They inducted Green Day after all.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Oh no! See, I didn't
Well, it was
hear
Green
that.
Day, Pat Benatar.
Joan Jett.
Yeah,
Well,
Joan
it's about
Jett.
time she got in.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought for sure after the fans kind of spoke up on the website, like the low percentage that they got, I thought for sure that 9 Inch Nails was going to be the alternative pick, but I'm not on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and that's probably why I'm not.
Well,
Rush would
you
have
also
gotten
got to
in 20 years
understand,
ago.
9 Inch Nails may not want to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, a lot of the bands
True.
that everyone holds very dear that do have a deserving spot, that's really not their thing. So it's kind of like, why aren't they in that version of Rock and Roll Country Club-esque, company? It's because they may not want to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I could see like a band like Iron Maiden or even Judas Priest just not really caring, just not really giving a shit about it. But a band like Deep Purple, I think, needs to be in there.
No, I agree. I mean, anytime anyone picks up a guitar, Smoke on the Water is usually the first thing they learn.
Exactly.
That was my argument for them too. Yeah.
So, if that's, but of course, when you think about it, that's kind of an accolade all on its own. If you were a songwriter for something that 90% of people learn when they pick up an instrument, you did pretty well.
Right.
Yeah, you
I'd
did
say
something
so.
right. Absolutely. And alone, that's enough. You're iconic enough as it is. I mean, you don't need a little accolade of someone say, I'm gonna put a picture of you in a building, to tell you how good you are.
Yeah,
but I
normally
think
they
as
just
an
ask for you in a
artist-
lunchbox, and that's just kind of weird.
Right. But I think as an artist, you do want to have that what's the word I'm looking? That validation from your peers and from your colleagues in the industry to say that you did good. You make us proud. I can understand that because Rush said that for years too. Like, oh, we don't care. It's not a big deal. If we ever get in, it doesn't matter. But then when they finally did get the nod, they did realize, like, this is a big deal. This does mean something to us. We didn't think it did, but it does. And,
yes,
we're really
and their
happy
guitar
about
player, and their guitar player had the best acceptance speech I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, that's my voicemail message, actually, the whole thing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice.
If you call my voicemail, you will hear Alex Lifeson's acceptance speech.
Nice.
Because it's genius,
what
right?
the hell that was.
For those who don't know what it is, all he did was say blah, 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 blah.
Right.
That's all he did.
But if you watch it live, you can kind of understand what he's saying. Like, he mimes so well. It's true. The parts of the speech, he mimes certain parts where it's just, you kind of know what he's saying, even though it's all just blah, blah, blah. It's genius. It's so Rush. It's their sense of humor, but also their intelligence at the same time.
Very true. Very, very true.
So, but yeah, this is really awesome. So tell us a little bit about the new album. Is it out yet, or is it getting ready to come out?
No, it's not. It's getting ready to come out. Daydream Believer is going to be available on Christmas Day, and it's going to be available with another song on it that's another Monkees cover, actually, for the Davy Jones Equestrian Memorial Fund. And then in mid-January, the new album Phoenix comes out, and we're going to be doing 4 singles off the record total, and which is half the album. It's an 8 song record, and we're doing 3 releases for it. We have its digital release, we have its hard CD copy release, and then we're releasing it on vinyl.
Oh wow,
that's
cool.
so cool.
So they're each coming out with its own versions of it, and each release of it, the CD, the vinyl, and the digital, there's one song that's going to be different on each one.
Oh wow, So that gives the fans an incentive to buy each copy.
Exactly. That's very, very cool. Very, very well played. That's cool.
Well, the purpose for it is, rock and roll as a marketplace has kind of gone full circle. Because of the digital realm, a lot of the independent bands are going back to kind of the singles deal format that was a real big deal in the 50s. So you're getting individual songs. So we thought, well, why not? There's always a song that you love that's kind of the black sheep of the collection that you write that really doesn't fit with the rest. So we figured, well, why not make that available for people? And then you have the song that you write right when you're finished with it, and you go, why didn't we write this or have this done 2 weeks earlier and it could have made it? Well, when you space it out, that little song has hope.
That's actually an awesome idea, because there are a lot of, I think that's one thing kind of that annoys me a lot in the music business, is that these bands, what happens with those songs, for example, like the oddball song that doesn't quite make it on the album, or the song that they wrote while they were putting it all together that doesn't have room to make it. What they do is they re-release the whole album ad nauseum. Like, here's the 25th limited edition version of this album that we just released 6 months ago, and here it is again with one more track you didn't have, and it's just you make them go out and pay the full price for the album over and over again. And at least in this way, you're offering something somewhat different. It's not just another CD with just a different cover or whatever. It's actually, you get a vinyl, or you can pick and choose what format you want rather than kind of being limited to wherever.
Well, what I found really interesting on the last tour that the band did is we would go to these different venues all over the country, and we'd have people come up, and they would ask for different formats. And some markets are really vinyl heavy, some are very CD heavy, some want download cards. And the funny part is you have people that want to get vinyl, but they do not own a record player. They just like having the vinyl as an art piece.
Exactly. And that's one thing that I love the resurgence of vinyl coming back out, because, I mean, having that, I remember having milk crates, and you had your vinyls there.
Full of them.
Exactly. And the sleeves alone, you're looking at them and the artwork on them, and it was one of those things that you can touch and feel. That's one thing that's really missing in the music with this digital download thing. It's that touch and feel, being a part of it,
Well, the other beautiful part about audiophiles, and those are kind of my favorite fans of the band, is when we get the audiophile people in there that really want to know, how did you record this? Was it recorded on a laptop, or was it recorded on 2-inch tape, or did you put on a 4-track cassette player? Whatever, did you sing into your iPhone? Whatever your choice is, because they get really excited about the fidelity of it. And what's so neat about that is you have these music fans that love to either put on real headsets, not earbuds. Nothing wrong with earbuds, but there is a difference in the quality. And then those who actually have real speakers, because it just sounds so different when you listen to something on headphones versus earbuds versus pushing air.
And the same thing with, when you listen to something on vinyl, I mean, the difference in when you get a digital download, everything's so clean and clear. But when you're listening to vinyl right there and you get the little cracks and the little crackles and pops, from, coming off the needle, I mean, it adds a different ambiance to the whole thing.
Yeah, I usually compare it as the difference between going to Arby's or going to a real deli.
Absolutely. I mean,
but
that's so true.
I use food analogies a lot.
And look, hey, I resemble that remark.
All right, cheers.
That's right. I mean, yeah, that's really cool, and I really do like the research. I mean, as a kid, my favorite thing was my little lunchbox style record player I had. And my dad worked in a restaurant, and I used to get all the 45s that recycled out of the jukebox. And it was just, it died out, for a while, and you saw all these little music stores popping up, and vinyl was everywhere, and it's so cool. And you're right, it's heavier in a lot of smaller towns, especially, or you get up to like Seattle or down in beach areas, and vinyl's it is coming back and growing, and a lot of bands are doing vinyl again.
Yeah, a lot of bands are, which that I find very encouraging because there's so many bands out there that are living and breathing out of their van, and they are trying really hard. And when you think about it, vinyl is the most expensive thing in the world to press for a product. It really makes no sense for a band to do that when you have a digital download, which is, let's say, $50 to $85 to release nationwide, versus vinyl, which is $3,000 to make 100.
Right.
Right.
So it doesn't make much sense, but it does show that level of commitment that, yes, they might take a financial hit, but for them it is worth it for their art to have something physical to show for all of the blood, sweat, and tears they put into their passion.
Right, absolutely.
Well, now, speaking of Blood, Sweat, and Tears, have you ever worked with any of the members of Blood, Sweat, and Tears?
No.
You have not?
I would, though. So if you ever hear if they have an opening, pass my number along. I'd show up.
Actually, Thunder probably has a way to make that happen because he's related to someone.
My uncle was a keyboard player for Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Nice.
Yeah, it's one of the vinyls I used to have back in the day.
Yeah, they're definitely one of my musical heroes, and of course, like a lot of people, you have a musical palette that's just vast. So you can't.
Oh
really
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Well,
so I mean, this is going to be your guys' first album in like what, 3 or 4 years? Because I know you guys. I know at least in your case, you kind of project off for a while to do some other things you were doing, and now you're picking this back up again. So it's the first new album in a while.
It's the first new album since 2010, so it'll officially be a 5-year break, which for an independent band, that's a long time. That's it's half a decade. When you're out of the light for half a decade, you really do have to rebuild it, and so it's going to be challenging. But on the same token, I've had 5 years away from these my past back catalog, so I get to relearn them again, and they're new to me, which is very fun to rediscover songs, and you have a different perspective on them than you did when you wrote them. For an example, one of the songs that did really well for us was a song called Damned, and the emotion that comes through it now is very different from when I wrote it. When I wrote it, it was very angry. Now it's just kind of I get to be a storyteller because it doesn't have that same bitterness to it.
Right. Yeah, you've grown up with it. In other words, like you've matured with it, so to speak, and you can play it in a different way now. But I was gonna say, I mean, you're doing really good because I know I read on your Facebook today, as of today, the day that you were a guest on the Will and Thunder show, you reached what was it, number 4 on Reverb Nation?
Yes, we which was great when we decided to announce that we were going to put out this new record. The numbers went up, and we got up to number 5, and it would teeter in the top 10. We'd be number 5 one week, number 8 the next, number 9, then back up to number 6. But we never got past number 5, and this morning it got to number 4. So we finally kind of broke through that ceiling, so to speak. And I really think it has to do with the release of Daydream Believer.
So would it be safe to say, I mean, because we like to pride ourselves on being a magical show, would it be safe to say that maybe your appearance on today's show boosted your numbers? Can we take credit for that?
Yeah, you can definitely take credit for that.
We're magical.
And tomorrow, it was the next week, so maybe we can work our magic and get you up to, number 3, 2, and maybe 1, Let's see what we can do here.
What happened to Thunder?
That's
Thunder,
right.
You ended up for a minute there, you ended up in the trash can again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
Good.
All right. Need a new microphone.
But, that's awesome, though, because, I mean, like you were saying, in this day and age in the business, if you go away for even a minute, people just forget about you so quickly. So it's like it is reaffirming to know that there are people that are out there still interested and wanting to keep up with what you're doing, and I just think that's awesome.
Well, and that's just go ahead.
Oh, no, what's really been fun has been the amount of fans that have kind of come out of the woodwork just to say how much they really loved the last album, which was a double record called Love is a 4-Letter Word. And I was really kind of burnt on the whole thing because the whole band was an all-star band made up of members of Vanilla Fudge and Guns N' Roses and Three Dog Night and the Doobie Brothers. And then, we got all these offers because the record was selling really well. And they said, would you guys tour? And everyone in the band all of a sudden got busy with their other bands. Guns N' Roses went back out because Chinese Democracy actually hit stores. Yeah, so much people. I think people bought it just so they could have it before listening to it. Wow, that sounded really like a slam for me. Don't mean it to.
We'll dub my voice over that. That way you don't have to.
Record. For the record, I do like that album. But everyone got busy doing their things, and no one could really tour. So we put, we got a B list of players of the same Alchemade. We had, guys from Wasp. Mike Dupke played drums from Wasp on the record, and
cool.
did some performances around Los Angeles and whatnot. And then Moses Sparks, who plays for like B.B. King and whatnot, came into play. And but it definitely changed the sound, and it was this revolving door of band members depending on the gig and when it was, and it just you'd get on stage and you'd turn around and go, okay, what songs do you know? What songs do you know? And
it never so exhausting right there.
Best. Yeah, you never knew if you could do your best, so it was good to kind of walk away for a little bit.
I don't know about you, but whenever somebody says, okay, what songs do you know, like if you're jamming with somebody for the first time or at an open mic thing or something like that, what songs do you know? My mind goes blank. I can't remember a damn thing.
Oh, exactly. And the funny part is you give someone, a work disc, and they, especially in Los Angeles, because it is a working town, and everyone's doing so many things. You get on stage, and they give you this kind of glossed over look, like, which CD were you in my car? Were you the orange one?
Right.
Right. No? Okay. Right. How does it go? And you're standing there, and you
just on top of that,
room, and you go, great.
Well, on top of that, too, I mean, no matter how good you are, how many bands you've been in, your talent level, everybody has a different feel, a different sound, even just the difference in the settings on your amp versus the other person's gives the whole song and the whole feel a totally, difference right there. So every time you're out there, there's never that consistency right there. And that's got to be, kind of heart-wrenching. You're like, okay, well, what's it going to be this time? I mean, it's very hard to go about doing that.
Right.
It is, but that also, the other side of that coin is that also is what made the McGrath Project very fun in Los Angeles. And a lot of people would follow it because they knew all the players were always great players, and they knew they would never hear the same set twice.
Yeah, that is cool.
So there was a blessing to that side of it. But when you come from I come from a classical music background where you rehearse, it's over and over and over and over and over again, and then when you finally have it right, you go out. And when you never really get that type of footing underneath you, it's very stressful for me anyway.
Right, because you're meticulous on it. I mean, into the classic background, I mean, everything's so intricate right there, and the way you're picking, and just the clarity of everything, especially like finger picking, classic guitar, everything's so crisp and clean. And when you don't have that every night, I can see, it's like somebody with OCD. You move a lamp in their house, and they're going to lose their mind.
Yeah, and but it was definitely a lot of fun. But the new lineup has also been interesting because everyone's saying, okay, you're going to tour, and who are you going to be going on the road with? Are you going to do it by yourself? Are you going to be opening for, other people? And and who's been available for what, and everyone has volunteered to say, okay, we'll go out on this tour, and then, 6 weeks later it's going to be this lineup for this road tour. And I finally just told everyone the other day, I'm like, look, here's the lineup that's going to be touring this year, period. And I'm very pleased to say that the lineup that's going to be touring is an all-star lineup of the band that is made up of members of a lot of underground rock bands such as Beef Jerky, Valve, and even to have different bands come in there and have like some members of Jars of Clay come in to do the touring. So it'll be a lot of fun.
So
very cool.
The touring band and the band that's on the new album is different from the lineup on the last album too, as well.
Oh yeah, the lineup from the last record. The last record took just as long to make. It was a big collection of stuff.
Okay.
But the majority of the band was the same guys. It was Chet McCracken and the Doobie Brothers, and Tim Bogert of Vanilla Fudge, and Dean Minnerly, who worked with Three Dog Night, and Aretha Franklin, and myself.
Right.
This record was the first record I've made that had the whole band in the studio at the same time.
Oh, wow.
A lot of records that I've made have been kind of from this theory of production where you do everything one at a time and you build the track to where it's just this wall of sound. This album was one band. Everyone got in the room, we rehearsed it, and we played it live.
Oh, okay.
And
very cool.
we recorded it on 2-inch tape and recorded it directly live, and we mixed it on 2-inch tape. There is nothing mixed in the box. There is no Pro Tools. There's no computer on this album
fresh,
whatsoever.
reel to reel.
Yep. Everything was mixed on
very
a console.
cool.
There was no... There was nothing digital about this album, and I think you can tell, especially on songs like Daydream Believer, it's very raw, it's very organic, and it's very loud.
And that's very cool.
Well, let's play the next song. Which one is
Absolutely.
the one that was it Daydream Believer, or was it one of the other two?
No, do we want to save the world premiere for the last song of the night, or do we want to do the world premiere now? It's totally up to you.
I'm smiling and nodding and listening for my name. Go for it.
What? No, it's up to you, Gary. Do you want to do the world premiere of the new song that you sent us, or do you want to wait for it to be the last song of the night? Because what happens is the show cuts off right at 9. We'll go.
Why don't we go ahead and play it now? That way we can talk about it a little bit before we get to the tail end of the show. That way we can give a little bit of insight into this song right here, and people out there can listen in, see what's going on with it. I think that we should go ahead and get that world premiere and get it out there.
Okay, and can you tell me the name of it, because I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Well, give it your best shot, and I'll tell you if you're right.
Is it El Fooey or?
that is definitely it, El Fooey.
Is there any special story behind the song, or?
I'll tell it to you after you play it, because I want to see if you guys can hear it after the fact, or instead of going into it with a preconceived notion.
Okay, all right, well, fair enough.
Let's go. Let's just go in there with no taste in our mouth, and let's see how things work out, and then we can talk about it afterward. That's awesome.
All right, well then here we go. This is the world premiere, heard for the first time, and will not be on radio for at least another 2 months. So here it is, the world premiere of El Fooey by McGrath Project on the Will and Thunder Show. Let's rock it out.
That was cool. I like that.
Nice.
Yeah, that was
very,
awesome.
very cool. Well, all of my life I've been looking for something. I think you found it.
Yeah, it's definitely a very high energy ball of loud.
But no, that was awesome. That was that was the world premiere of El Fooey by the McGrath Project, and it was most awesome. And thank you for sharing that with us before everybody else. We feel so honored, and thank you very much. That was
You're very welcome.
That was, how can we say it? It was awesome. That's good stuff. So you were saying before the break, or before the song, that there's a story behind it, or there's some interesting notion to the song. So if you want to share it, go ahead and go for it.
Well, whenever I'm working on songs, I always do the music of it first, and then I play it with some other musicians, that whether they're in the band or not in the band, because everyone adds their own flavor to what you're doing. And everyone I played that song for and with, to kind of flush out the ideas, everyone played the exact same thing, especially drummers. I never gave any direction. I just said, here's, a progression, and played through it. And I had about 3 or 4 drummers play it, and they all played the same type of drum part. And I just kept laughing, and they said, well, what's the song called? And I said, well, I don't have any words for it yet. I don't know. And when the third drummer finally said, well, what's the song called? This is a lot of fun. I said, well, every time I played it sounds like the Foo Fighters, so I'm calling it El Fooey.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Very cool.
It does kind of have a Foo Fighters vibe to it.
Exactly, and now that you say that, I mean, it definitely has that flavor to it. Absolutely.
And,
but I kind of like it better because I don't care much for the Foo Fighters.
Well, it was just one of those things that I wasn't really intending it to be that way.
Right.
But every time someone played it, and when we got the track done in the studio, and I listened back to it before we put any words on or anything else, I started laughing, and I said, well, I wrote a Foo Fighters song. And
awesome.
I just couldn't stop laughing, so everyone's like, okay, start on the lyrics, start on the words, and then come back and we'll add it. And the words I came up with, I listened to it, and I worked with a friend of mine named Justin Shee, who wrote the words with me. And then when I sang them, I listened back, and there's that bridge where I'm sitting there thinking, all of my life I've been looking for something. And I went, oh, my God, it's a Foo Fighters lyric. And I couldn't get away from it. So everyone's like, are you going to rename it something else? And I went, no, it's El Fooey.
You know what? It is so cool. And you know what? I'm listening to the song, and now that you say that, I mean, it does have that flavor to it. And, and at first, I didn't really catch on. And now, I mean, especially you get that little repetitive bridge right there. And it's really cool, man.
Yes, the best song the Foo Fighters ever wrote.
Give him a little credit, not even mean to, a little homage for him.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where you have those people that have a musical influence, and sometimes it shines through more than intended, and instead of trying to deny it up and down and say, oh, no, this is a complete original thought, it's
right.
Give a nod to what was in your ear apparently at the time, and just, acknowledge it. There's nothing wrong with saying you are a fan of someone and
no, there's not.
Be an inspiration, because that's what all good music is supposed to do. It is supposed to inspire someone to create something else.
That's right. That's right. And and everybody gets their balls busted for liking this band or liking that band. They do it to me on this show because there's a band from the '80s that I liked that I thought was
I never bust your balls about that, Thunder.
But I mean,
I
the thing is,
they're a good band too.
It was just it's something that it kind of caught me and I liked it.
I was going to say, I mean, that's one thing I respect about Dream Theater as a band, that they do not try to hide their influences when they write a song. Like when you watch their making of the record footage, they'll have like the notes and stuff, or the song laid out, and it'll say, here's the Metallica part and here's the Marillion part, or whatever the part of the song was influenced by that band that they were thinking of when they were writing it. And I just think that's cool, because a lot of bands don't do that. They try to deny it and be like, no, we weren't trying to sound like Metallica at all,
Well, what I find really funny is when bands would come in, especially when I was doing the Love is a Four-Letter Word record, and I had all these different musicians coming in, and I'd have a map of the song. I'd have the guitar part with the click, and then I'd let the drummer come in and play. And I remember Mike Dupke from Wasp played on a bunch of that record, and he came in, and I remember he asked me, he goes, what was your inspiration behind the song so I can kind of get a drum part idea? And I said, R.E.M. meets John Denver. And he stared at me with this look, and he just couldn't stop laughing.
What do I do with that?
Really? And he goes, no, really, what were you thinking of? And I said, John Denver meets R.E.M. And he just kind of went, what? He goes, he just couldn't fathom that I'm being serious.
Yeah, he couldn't wrap his mind around what that should sound like, right? Like, because who really thinks of how that's going to sound?
Well, the funny part was that he kept staring at me blankly, and he goes, what? And he goes, could you please elaborate on this? So I pulled up a YouTube video of R.E.M. playing The Lion Sleeps Tonight, and went, there you go. And he watched that, and then he got fascinated because R.E.M. also did a cover of Aerosmith's Toys in the Attic.
Right.
So he watched both those and goes, all right, I think I understand what you mean. And I said, right, horrible.
It's like walking up to a bartender and asking for a Kahlua Sour.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
And I'm going to use that. That's going to be the next record. I'll call it Kahlua Sour. That would work really
There
well.
you go. No problem. I'll send you my address for the royalties.
Yeah, there you go, Thunder. There's another one of your get-rich-quick schemes.
Exactly.
But no, it's always interesting to see, because everyone has, their different tastes they bring to the table. And sometimes it works
really well. And when you have a group that has great chemistry and everyone talks about what they like, it can be so different, and everyone will agree on like one band, and you would never guess that group of people would agree on said band. Like an example, Weezer, when they got together, none of them liked the same bands except for one, and the one band they all agreed on was the Monkees.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. I mean, and you look at bands like, hey, I really like. Weezer's one of the one band I really do enjoy. But to put that music together, I mean, and it's the same thing. You could talk to metalheads or whatever, and everybody has that one band as kind of an offshoot,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you grew up in the 80s at whatsoever and you're in a metal band, everyone has that Metallica phase for some weird reason.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I
then
was
you
going
want-
to say, too, because you're working with so many different musicians all the time that I would imagine that it could be a hit or miss as far as, like, getting together and pooling your resources. It could be either you all get together and your tastes are so diverse that you guys create this sound that's just really cool, but then other times you get together with people, and because your tastes are so different, it never really clicks and something doesn't there's always something missing, or that you guys just never get on the same page. So I can see where that, that's really cool when it happens, but I can also see where it can be kind of a bummer when it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. Well, the hardest thing for any band is to agree on what a quarter note is. So.
Oh, okay. Now, have you taught any of your bass players over that?
Do what?
No, it's a running joke here at the Will and Thunder Show. I was going to ask if you ever had to shoot any of your bass players for not knowing what a quarter note is.
Yes.
That's not funny.
That's very funny.
But we don't. I mean, I am in Texas, and bullets are very easy to find here. But I still like lawn darts.
Well, it just gets worse and worse here. Look, I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to maim you with a lawn dart.
Well, at least
you don't
don't
want to
end
kill
up
him, because then you have to get a new bass player. You just want to teach him a lesson.
I guess that's what it was. I mean, we joke about this whole Jerry Lee Lewis situation where he shot his bass player twice.
Yeah, Thunder is actually working on a book of conspiracy theories against bass players, because it seems like every week we come up with a news story where a bass player has been either severely
killed
injured
or maimed or
died in some strange way.
Well, yeah, there's all those tragic stories that happen to poor bass players. I mean, the best example I can think of is when you think of a band like Wings and the bass player gets kicked out and no one knows whatever happened to the guy.
Yeah.
That's a good one. But,
whatever
you were
happened to the bass player from Wings? Didn't he do something afterwards?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he never really made it, did he?
Yeah, I heard he did something with Michael Jackson and then disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I heard Michael Jackson kind of like stole all his songs. And
I don't know. He was in another band. He was in another band prior to that. I don't know what was it, like the Grasshoppers, something like that. I don't know.
Maybe
I don't think they made it.
Yeah. He had a couple of
everybody's having.
I can go off on those type of jokes all day for some weird reason.
But, I think, did Will have a question? Do you have a question, Will? I thought I heard you chime in.
I want to do Spinal Tap movements.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I was just about to ask that, actually. That's weird that you mentioned that, because I was going to say all these experiences that you've had with different musicians from across the board. Certainly you've had to have had Spinal Tap moments somewhere along the line.
An imploding drummer or a bunch of little people running around with Stonehenge? Which one?
Will's going to cue the music, I guess.
Thunder and I played in bands, over the years, and we actually had a Spinal Tap moment that actually happened in the movie. We had a guitar player. Well, there's alcohol.
Sorry, that one's happened to me.
Well, we had a guitar player. He had missed a bunch of practices and everything, and he just got pissed off, and because we had this new song that he supposedly knew, and he didn't know it, and he got embarrassed, pissed off, pulls his guitar off, throws it down, and storms off the stage.
That's when you just say, "Welcome to the show."
Yeah,
that's right. Hello, Cleveland.
But we have a little intro music for the Spinal Tap segment.
These go to 11. You can't press that. Spinal Tap, 1 second. What's wrong with being sexy? He died. He died in a bizarre gardening accident. Thousands of people spontaneously combust each year.
Hello, Cleveland! Hello, Cleveland!
All right, let's hear them.
Nice. Actually, when we were touring with, when I was doing the stuff with Lydia's Libido, when we went through Cleveland, our drummer that night yelled, "Hello, Cleveland," and it just fell upon deaf ears.
Oh!
Damn, that's horrible.
He said it, he screamed it, and it was just crickets, and I couldn't stop laughing. I thought it was hysterical.
And no one got the joke?
Well, no. Both people that were there got the joke. They just didn't one of those.
Oh, no. Actually, this is the same drummer I was telling you about, Thunder, because you call yourself the Thunder Midget because you're a bass player midget. This is the same drummer I was telling you about, the midget drummer. So
really,
you guys can get to
midget drummer doesn't really suit him very well. He's more of a leprechaun.
Well,
they're always after me, Lucky
Thunder
Charms.
Is more of a dwarf from like Lord of the Rings. So
I could be either one. I'm Irish too, so you know.
Well, he looks like what happens if Bret Michaels and the Lucky Charms leprechaun had a kid.
Awesome. That's kind of true.
And the beautiful part about this drummer is he is such a wonderful guy, and he has such a great sense of humor that I know many women that think he's the perfect man if he had a flat head. So.
What, to put your beer on it or something?
I guess. I was going to say a mirror, but that's all right. He's an amazing drummer, and he's been one of my best friends since we were in high school. So I always have to pick on him.
I understand. Cool, I trust. Yeah.
Because Will and Thunder are like that. They're lifelong.
Yeah, well, we are. That's right.
Yeah, so, that's part of the reason why I started this show with him, just so I could pick on him on worldwide.
Well, we were all making fun of his name's Andy, and we were making fun of his height a lot, just because he's a good sport about it. He does it himself. But when we drove from New York to Albuquerque in 2 days, and that's just an insane thing. I never recommend doing it, because when you're almost there, you really do see little leprechauns running across the road because you're just going nuts. And we pull up, and he's rested, and he's like, "Where's your short jokes now? I can fit in a duffel bag underneath the bench and sleep perfectly."
That's right. That's right.
That's true. I mean, as short people, we can kind of just, curl up in a ball and get by anywhere. There is an advantage to small height.
That's right. Will, you're what, 6'4"?
Yep.
I'm 5'6", man. I mean, look, I can fit in any vehicle anywhere. I might need a car seat, but I can still fit in that vehicle.
Well, that's great, because you can also fit very well in most overhead bins.
Absolutely.
Do you need a booster seat whenever you go to the to the hotel buffet? Never mind.
But you got a tour bus. All you got to do is open one of the
open the glove compartment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no,
not the glove compartment. I was talking about one of the things on the side, not the glove compartment.
See, I always think of those bands, those tribute bands like Mini Kiss. That's a bunch of little people that dress up like Kiss. I've always wanted to see them like. Well, I've always wanted to. A friend of mine worked with them for a while and did the Dr. Pepper commercial with them and Kiss, and I told him, I said, wouldn't it be hysterical if they showed up to set and they pulled up in a VW bus and that was their real bus for them?
It'd be so awesome.
I thought that would just be really cool.
You put shelves. You
have it pulled behind a trailer that's made out of one of those little baby carriage things that people put behind their bicycles.
You take the VW bus and paint it black and do all the scallop tribal work like the big buses?
Yeah.
Be awesome.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to get so much hate mail for
this. Of it, and that'll be their bunks. And now,
oh, my goodness. Barbie bands all lined up.
They're one of those bands that could actually be sponsored by First Act because the instrument fit.
Oh, my goodness.
I can see it now. Next year I'm going to be walking through Walmart and there's going to be a First Act Gene Simmons axe bass guitar right there. It's going to be like 2 foot long.
Are you kidding? If he thinks he can make money off of it, he'll be there.
Oh, it'll be there in a heartbeat. That's right.
I mean, have you seen the Kiss coffin? Has anyone seen this?
Well, yeah. Dimebag Darrell was buried in a Kiss coffin, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh,
where your coffin has all 4 faces on the top, and it plays Kiss music on as long as the battery holds out.
Oh, my God.
Repeat. I mean, I guess they really do want to see if zombies are real, because I just can picture someone jumping out of the grave going, I can't stand it!
Enough!
I know.
I mean, Detroit Rock City is a great tune, but if I had to hear Beth over and over again for eons, I really would rise from the dead and run.
Well, yeah, you're there at the cemetery, and you're visiting someone else's grave, and you're sitting there kind of paying your respects, and all of a sudden you're like, you start hearing
Dr. Love in the background.
All night.
I know. I think it'd be great that, if some widow goes and puts flowers on his wife's grave, and all of a sudden he hears Love Gun in the back of his head.
I know, right? He's convinced that he's lost his mind,
Oh.
It's like, why is that muffled? Where is there a car?
I know.
All of a sudden you see the dirt go bouncing up and down a little bit from the base, just randomly. You see that one grave site that says husband and wife together forever, and you go, no kidding?
Oh, my God.
You've thought this through, haven't you?
No.
Yeah, I don't think Gene Simmons thought that through when he came up with it. These are things you got to ask yourself.
I wonder if Reason to Live is on those soundtracks.
Oh, my God.
I think God gave rock and roll to use like the first song on it. I'm not really sure.
That is hilarious. Oh, God. Oh, you guys are cracking me up. I'm having too much fun.
Oh, mercy.
Yeah, I don't want to end the show.
Well, Chris, you've seen me do my thing live. You understand this is very similar to a McGrath Project style show.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, you guys are. I mean, you're always fun to watch live, and that incident with the doctor was hilarious too. That was like the weirdest. The weirdest.
Yeah, we had a doctor come up to us for his birthday, and he wanted us to play cocaine, and we kept asking him why. And he said, well, and they kept saying, because I'm a doctor. We're like, okay. Why do you want to hear that song so bad?
Oh, man. Yeah, that was really hilarious. Because of all things, it's just, because he put the money in the tip jar or whatever, and he's like, you'll play anything? And, yeah, we'll play whatever you want. What do you want to hear? I want to hear cocaine because tonight's my birthday. It's my birthday tonight, and I'm a doctor.
Hope you're not operating tomorrow, Doc. Might have to shake a little bit.
The show's about to cut off, but it'll be up on YouTube, and you'll be able to hear it in its entirety sometime tomorrow. Just gotta throw that out there so that people don't think that we got abducted by aliens when the show goes off in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, we're still doing this.
Dealer. What? Sorry.
No, I was just going to say we'll still be doing this. We're just going to go into overtime.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys for having me on the show and for playing both tunes. I really appreciate it.
Oh, well, we've got a third tune, too, that you sent me. So,
Why don't we go ahead and play that real quick?
The show's still going on. We just it just cuts off on Blog Talk Radio, and then for the listeners, the rest of it you can hear when we upload it to YouTube probably by tomorrow or maybe the next day. But we'll put it up on the event page and stuff for everybody to listen to and all that.
Nice.
So you'll get to hear the third song, but yeah,
so everyone can hear me make fun of midgets, and Andy can come over and kick me in the nuts. So great.
Yeah, that actually will work. So, yeah, cool.
Actually, the funny part is, we had this one little person come to he was drunk at a bar that we were playing at in Deep Ellum, and he kept trying to saying, "Hey man, can I get on the microphone? Can I get on the microphone?" And I looked at him and said, "You can under one condition." And he said, "What?" And I said, "Before you do it, you have to have all the helium out of that balloon." And I said, "Once you do that, I will give you the microphone." And he looked at me and goes, "No," and just kept flipping me off. And then finally, by the end of the night, he had so many drinks, he goes, "Okay, fine. Where's the balloon?" And I said, "It's gone." I said, "It's gone."
It's horrible.
I'm like, "Sorry, dude."
Well, that's like me. I'm not really, I'm a short stature. I'm 5'6", but I always joke around saying if we don't make it in radio, I'm going to join midget wrestling as a giant. And it's fun and everything. Yeah, I'll do a little Big Show. But and it'll be fine and dandy, and it'll be fun until I meet that one midget who's a real badass. And then once I get my ass kicked by a midget, you're done. Dude, you have no credibility left over.
Yeah.
I just keep picturing that one scene in Elf when the guy from Game of Thrones gets up and just kicks Will Ferrell's ass.
Exactly.
Of course, I watch that just because I like watching Will Ferrell be severely hurt, but that's a whole other issue.
Me too. And look, I am so not a Will Ferrell fan. I think he's so on comedy. It's not even. Oh.
I call him the anti-funny.
Oh man,
anti-funny. Really?
Anti-funny.
Anti-funny.
Yeah. Well, basically, this is every single Will Ferrell movie. He's insert occupation here. He's at the top of his game. He's a star. All of a sudden, something happens, and he comes crashing back down to earth. He's down in the dumps. All of a sudden, he meets a girl who helps him get his self-esteem back, and then he like a phoenix rising from the ashes, he reemerges to his former glory. That's every Will Ferrell movie.
And the sad part is it's almost every Disney movie, too.
I was going to say that's every movie, but those are awesome.
But you forgot the part where he runs around in his underwear for no reason.
Well, I think he puts that in his contract because for a while I think his biggest supporter was Oscar Mayer. So.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness. God love you, man.
I think now
God love you.
We're going to have to
fruit of the loom.
We're going to have to put that down with our bacon perfume and dog catching money-making tips.
That's right.
Did you say bacon perfume?
Yeah,
Yes,
we were talking
yes.
about bacon-scented perfume earlier.
See, that's a horrible idea because you're going to have this poor girl who is kind of attractive but not super hot but not ugly. And she's going to put that on, and she's going to have this line of fat guys on little mopeds trying to eat her.
See, we thought it would be successful because we thought it'd be a surefire way to find missing dogs.
Well, I was talking about the bacon perfume. They also have pizza perfume. Pizza Hut has a pizza perfume. I'm like, that's great. There's going to be some some sad guy sitting outside of a pot shop in Colorado with the pizza-flavored, pizza-scented perfume cologne on, and it's going to be like a bad episode of The Walking Dead. Every these potheads are going to come out and start, trying to eat flesh off of them.
The only thing that makes that mental image worse is all I can picture is him having an old beatbox playing the Bay City Rollers next to him.
Oh, God. This is so much fun.
Nothing says loving like the smell of melted cheese and tomato sauce.
I know. Who came up with pizza?
I think that was a wedding vow somewhere.
It probably is somewhere.
I mean, it was, I love you till death do us part, and someone said it wrong, and they said it till one of us part, and so it worked really well.
Yeah, that's usually how it actually works, really, if you think about it.
Well, the last time we were in Vegas, I found it really funny. We played this. We're playing this festival called First Fridays, and it's on the other side of the strip from the White Wedding Chapel that's in all the movies, and they actually advertise get your fourth one free.
Oh my God.
And my thought was, I got one to go.
Yeah.
That's almost kind of like the local. If you guys had stayed here long enough, I probably could have taken it over there. But the local strip club around here, outside the sign says hundreds of beautiful women and 3 ugly ones.
Oh, you can't talk about me that way.
I feel sorry for the 3 ugly girls. Like, do they know who they are?
Well, they tell them politely, like, table 4 is for you. It's the one with the eye patch and the hook hand.
Next on stage, we have Mercedes. After her, it's Pinto.
As if strippers, didn't have enough issues with self-esteem. Now they're all walking around the club. Am I one of the ugly ones? Am I one?
Yeah, and they're all talking shit to each other. Like, no, you're the ugly one. No, you. Oh, God. I mean, women aren't catty enough, right?
That reminds, those old saying cartoon things that you see going around on social media that'll have something stupid on it, like, it's a random saying. And I saw one the other day that said, have you ever looked at your money and wondering if it came out of a G-string?
Oh, God. I'm sure, most of the dollar bills in your wallet, in anyone's wallet, I think at one time or another had to have come from a strip club. Kind of like the whole, every other $20 bill has traces of cocaine or whatever.
I was just going to say that. Exactly.
But, yeah.
So it does prove that the main mint comes from Washington, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Staying out of that one. But, yeah, most likely, yes, it does.
No, I did not say that.
Yeah, I'm going to stay out of that. We're
off the air, right? No.
Because he works for the CIA now.
Cash in advance?
What?
Isn't that what the CIA stands for? Cash in advance? Do you get your bribe right away?
That's right.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, there's someone at my door all of a sudden. I'm sorry. What?
Exactly. Where'd he go? No.
Here, does this rag smell like chloroform to you? Anyway.
Well, thanks for thanks for the Will and Thunder show. That album you were expecting from the McGrath Project probably will not be out as soon as you thought it was going to be.
I know. Oh no.
It'll be.
I don't know what happened.
It'll be.
If you play it backwards, there's a wonderful subliminal message on how to make bacon-flavored perfume.
Yeah.
No, it'll be premiered on time. It'll be premiered on time. It'll just be exclusively at Guantanamo Bay to.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, to torment the terrorists.
Yeah.
So we've managed to tie in everything that we mentioned earlier to the interview, which I don't think we've ever done on the show.
That's freaking.
It reminds me of one of those video shows that you watch on TV. You're like, all right, for the last 60 seconds of the show, we're going to show you a clip of everything that we've done tonight.
Right.
That's our little compilation right there. Thank you very much.
The funny part is the last date I went on was kind of like that. During the last 60 seconds, I was told I could see everything that went wrong. I just kind of went, great. And all you can say to that is, I really did look funny on one leg.
Well, now let's go back and
why am I in handcuffs
today?
It goes back to that saying, one thing that I like to do at the end of every
show that I perform at, I usually look at all the band members and try and make them feel really awkward and ask them what is the last thing they ever thought they would say first thing in the morning when they wake up.
That's a good question. I have to think about that.
Okay.
What is the last thing you'd want to say when you wake up in the morning first thing?
Is that Lindsay Lohan?
Oh.
I can think of something. Like,
yeah, that would be really bad.
Or weren't you a
that movie? That movie from the '80s where the oh God, is it Farrah Fawcett or one of those actresses? The movie where she wakes up and finds the dead body and she can't figure out where it came from. Or what is the name of that movie?
Weekend at
The
Bernie's.
only movie I know that has to do with is Weekend at Bernie's, or if you're referring to a woman, I think of that one scene in Clerks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you're going to that or not. Now there's going to be all these people looking up Clerks on Google to go, woman in bathroom.
Oh, I know exactly what scene you're talking about.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie.
Hopefully we haven't lived it.
Yeah, right? No, basically, just watch the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, you need to see it anyway, so just watch it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know. You're always telling me to watch
the second one.
And with the whole situation of waking up and having to say something awkward, there's one person who has that topped over anybody. And John Wayne Bobbitt right there, with him waking up going, where is it?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's probably worse than waking up next to Lindsay Lohan.
Well, you know.
I don't know.
Because if you woke up with Lindsay Lohan in the bed, you'd cut your own off. And you just right there, just sever it.
Why? Hasn't the poor thing already gone through enough hell?
I happen to like redheads.
So does she?
Yeah, but that one's pretty dangerous.
True.
They all are.
What do they call her? Fire crotch? Or yeah.
All of a sudden you get the worst thing ever in radio, and that's just dead space.
I know.
Yeah, I think that just happened.
What is that? What do we call that? Fire crotch? Crickets?
Yeah.
She just said fire crotch. Okay. Anyway.
There's a cream for that now. I just got a really bad visual with that, so please don't do that again.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine, right? I think that's why they gave her that nickname, obviously, because you're supposed to have a bad visual.
I thought it was just how she got cast in the movies.
God only knows. You know what? You're probably onto something with that.
I mean, have you seen Just My Luck? I mean, really? I think they picked Chris Pine just to say you're going to start your career over.
To be honest, I do not think I've seen one Lindsay Lohan movie in my entire life.
You never saw The Parent Trap?
No.
No.
I'm telling you, I don't watch a lot of movies.
I think that was the pinnacle of, no, it wasn't. Never mind.
And when was she in that movie? When she was, 8?
See, that's when she was on her training dollar for Coke. It was more of a peso. It was great.
Wow.
See, we're getting all the dirt on the celebrities on the Will and Thunder show. Like, forget TMZ. We've got the true scoop on everybody.
The true scoop.
Yeah. Not like Raisin Bran. That's 2 scoops. God, that's something hilarious.
I still think you should call it Baskin Robbins Radio, where you have 32 flavors no matter where you go. I know a girl that used that as a pickup line, and I went for it.
I need to get a cricket sound effect because that warranted one, I think.
Yeah, there's a couple of them we need to upload here. That there was a few over the last couple of weeks. Like, we need a soundbite for that.
Yeah. There's an app for that.
Yeah.
Poor cricket.
Exactly. What did he do?
Yeah. Everyone's putting it on the radio, and no one understands that that's really his cry for help.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Every time I hear that now, ever again, I'll be like, poor Cricket. Where's Dr. Phil when you need him? Where's Dr. Phil when you need him?
You're going to be hearing
well,
it a lot.
Don't you remember you put him out of a job with all of your child-rearing advice earlier?
Well, hey, look.
That was good stuff.
Child-rearing advice?
Yeah.
Well, child-raising.
Look, raising him. Yeah. Look, hey, don't put me and those two words together. That's Michael Jackson with a child-rearing advice.
Oh,
child upbringing or
see, I always felt I felt bad for Michael Jackson for so long, and other real celebrities felt bad for him too, because they all started trying to write songs for him so he could have one more big hit. I mean, did you hear about this? Elton John wrote one for him even. Unfortunately, he couldn't record it. Yeah, he couldn't record it because no one can understand why Sony wouldn't allow this song to come out called "Don't Let Your Sun Go Down on Me."
Oh.
What did the mother say to Michael Jackson at the beach?
Well, unlike the Will and Thunder show, if this music thing doesn't work out, Gary has a great career as a stand-up comedian.
Absolutely.
No.
What did the mother say to Michael Jackson at the beach? Get out of my son.
Get out of my son. Oh, my God. I'm not going there.
I don't know. I just...
God.
All right. I just like the sign when you drive up to Neverland, that says you must be at least this high to ride Michael.
Oh.
Hey, why did Michael like 28-year-olds? There was 20 of them.
Because there were 20 of them. I was like, wait a minute, I've heard this one. And
there's 20 of them. See, I was thinking that there was 28 of them because they're a year old, but never mind.
Well, and on top of that, you know that there wasn't one clock, not one, at the Neverland Ranch. I always wondered how they knew what time to go to bed, and someone let me know. It's when the big hand touched the little hand.
Oh, God.
See, the sad part about it is, I mean, all. What the hell was that?
That's an ad.
That's impossible.
And with the flute on his nose, Ralph Wiggum.
You're on the show. I had to do at least one Simpsons reference.
Very good. No, I actually do feel really bad for what the media did to Michael Jackson and everything else at the end of his life, because that's, out of everything he did do, right, to have that be the last thing people remember is pretty crappy. Then of course it's the worst part about it is the technology aspect of it, because you really have to look at technology not being your friend all the time. In the music industry, you have it making music that's very impersonal and very cold feeling. And in the case of Michael Jackson, you were able to take this little black kid with so much soul, it rivaled everyone from Stevie Wonder to James Brown, and turned him into an old white woman.
Well, wasn't it? That's like the joke I heard about Eminem. Where Michael wanted to buy Eminem's house and Eminem wanted to buy Neverland. It was just a white guy trying to be a black guy buying the house of a black guy trying to be a white guy, or something like that. But
where's that cricket sound?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't know the jokes.
Poor cricket.
Well, now that we're having so much fun,
I killed them with my bad jokes.
Yeah, I want to hear the next song.
All right.
Oh yeah, there is one of those, isn't there?
Yeah, this is music radio. I mean, we're having a blast. Don't get me wrong there, and it is more personality, But I still want to hear some music too, man. Let's rock out some more with the McGrath Project.
This song is called Casey's Last Chance.
The last song of the night, so.
Okay, you have Casey's Last Chance?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll actually tell you what the story is behind this song because it's very strange.
Oh, cool.
This song was originally done on the first McGrath Project record, but I never got it to where I liked it, so I kept working on it. And when we did it in the studio, the vocal got rewritten by myself and who's now my ex-fiance. And so when I decided to put it back on this record, I wanted to rewrite the words on it just because I wanted to make it more for a guy to sing than having a girl sing it. And I forgot to turn off her vocal on the choruses. So I got through singing my part, and then her vocals came in over the headphones, and I couldn't stop laughing because what I ended up doing by leaving a female voice on for the chorus is it turns the song into an argument.
Oh, cool.
And everyone has been in that bar at 2 a.m. where all of a sudden the guy looked at like another girl for like 1 second too long and got caught, and the girl got pissed off at him and starts screaming at him, and they just yell and everyone's paying their tab just to get the hell away from him. That's what this song is.
It's fucking awesome. Now,
it
look,
sounds like a fun song.
Exactly. Right here, you know what? That might be right there the most rock and roll moment we've ever had on this show right here. Because everybody knows that feeling right there. Everybody.
Yeah.
Well, you work
like,
a bar,
dude,
right, Thunder? So, I mean, you see this a lot.
I work in a restaurant bar now, but yeah, I'm a bartender. That's what I've done my whole life, man. So, yeah, I've seen this 100 times, and I've been the, bartender behind the bar while these two people are acting like fucking jackasses, and you're like, oh, really? And everybody's like, can I get my tab? Can I get my tab? Let me get out of here. And you're like, really? Bartending to babysitting, you sons of bitches?
All right, well, let's hear it. This is Casey's Last Chance by the McGrath Project on the Will and Thunder Show, and we'll be right back to wrap it up.
Wake up!
All right, I don't know what the hell's going on here. Let's try it again. And yeah, I know my microphone's on.
Wake up, slam! Show me something worth a damn. You're just another wham bam, thank you, ma'am. You think I'm gonna touch that? Ha! What's your plan? Another get rich quick scheme? Not a fan. You just say stuff just because you can. Well, you know what? You're not as smart as you think you are.
You think it's done, just thinking you can. You've already used up your last chance. You call that slack, well you ain't got a clue. You snooze, what are you gonna do?
My turn now. You love Lucy and your Farrah Fawcett hair. You're wrapped up in your Snuggie with your Kung Fu Panda bear. You blow up my phone with your texts and your tweets. Oh my God, just shut up! 5,000 friends, this is where
greatest things I've ever heard in my life.
That was hilarious. I loved it.
Look, and I do not know why Quentin Tarantino has not called you to use this song in a movie.
Because it's not out yet.
And so is that Quentin Tarantino feel right there.
Yeah.
And when you do this video, you need Quentin Tarantino arguing with like Snooki right there.
That's great.
That was so awesome. It's ridiculous.
So the funny thing about
that's ridiculous good.
Well, the funny part about that song is my father is in his early 70s, and he's a retired Methodist minister. And he wanted to hear the record. And I told him, I said, well, we're doing our last day of mixing. If you want to, please, come to the studio, give me your opinion. And I said, but here's your disclaimer. And he said, what? And I went, these songs are not what you think they're going to be. And he said, okay. And he came in and he sat down and he listened to that song and heard it once, and he looked at my mixing engineer and stopped him and turned and looked at me and said, that's brilliant, and gave me a hug. And I went, what?
That is so awesome. Validation, I mean, that's just beautiful right there.
Right, that's just kick-ass.
So I never thought that would be the song that my father would look at me and say, I'm proud of my son for this. I never thought that would be the piece that he would do it for. But he really liked it. And when we all got together and said, we're going to do a video for this song, and when the CD actually hits the shelves in January, that's going to be the radio push.
Cool.
I kind of looked around and went, all right, let's see what works on this. It's just a very random song to me.
And you know what? I'm telling you what. All three songs have their own feel to it, their own, sound and style, which is awesome right there. But that one right there, really, that's your radio push song is 100% best decision right there, because it is so right there and catchy, and it's like, and it's something that everybody can relate to. I mean, well, the majority of people, are right there, like, oh yeah, I can feel this right here. It's so awesome.
Yeah, I've felt it someone.
It's not even just the bar scene right there, but it's like it's that couple in front of you at the ice cream shop where she's like, I don't like chocolate chip. Shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah.
I'm buying you ice cream. I'm buying you ice cream. Kids line up for this for miles around because the truck drives around. I'm buying you ice cream. Quit bitching.
Well, you always make fun videos. I like watching.
I'm sorry.
Videos.
Look.
So fun,
I mean,
so.
it was just an aggression issue. I'm getting it out. I'm good. Look, my therapist said just let it out. Let it out. I'm good now.
Yeah,
I feel better.
We have to send Thunder to therapy about once or twice a week. So it's all good.
See, I've always wanted to watch people's faces when that line comes up with, you blow up my phone with your texts and your tweets. Oh my God, will you just shut up? I was watching people's response to that.
Thank you. It's like somebody had to say it. Thank you.
But yeah,
once this goes out on the radio, I want you to understand how much this is going to change the world. Because people are going to have vocal, you know how you can use, responses, music responses, for text or whatever. This is what's going to happen. People are going to use those lines right there. Blowing up my phone, texting, blah, blah, blah. Would you please shut up? And they're just going to send that. And that song's going to come on at that moment right there and be like, enough's enough. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
You're saving the world. You're saving the world. One man at a time.
One man at a time. Saving the world with one more of, does this smell like chloroform to you? Okay, good. Shut up.
Exactly.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, there's a reel of outtakes on that song, and you always hear about the evolution of songs, like how the Beatles, the song Yesterday, the most recorded song in recorded history, original lyrics were scrambled eggs because he was just writing something down to get the melody out. Well, that song had so many different versions of it on tape when we were going through trying to make the words up that the engineer stopped me and he goes, you know what? he's like, have you ever been on a date with someone and everyone makes fun of you because you're at a certain age and all of your friends are married or all the other people that are around your age have kids, so you start dating a little bit younger, and then you realize that you've gone too far when you look at your date and say, honey, 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 adults are talking. Use your indoor voice.
I know, right?
And there was just crickets in the room, and I looked at him and I said, no. He said, oh, okay, maybe it's just me.
Yeah, maybe.
And the funny part was the tape was running during all that stuff, so there is an outtake of one of the silencing of him saying that during one of the breaks. And he goes, we should put that in there. And I went, no.
Actually,
I'm like, that's a good idea. Though. We'll put that in the maybe file.
Yeah.
The maybe never file, right?
Yeah, the maybe never file.
Oh, so.
Kind of like how the rest of the Beatles treated Ringo's songwriting, Maybe never.
We'll think about it.
Jerry Lee Lewis treats his bass players. Right, Thunder?
You had to go there. You had to go there, right? You had to go there.
Okay, you realize the historical significance of you saying Jerry Lee Lewis shot his bass player. You understand the historical significance of that, don't you?
No, dude, tell me.
Jerry Lee Lewis's first wife was his bass player's daughter.
Really?
Oh, wow.
The
Yeah. It was
17-year-old lady divorced because she was too old?
Cousin.
No, that was his third wife.
No, that's his first wife.
No, his first wife was 17.
His second wife.
No. I think it was his third wife, it was his cousin that was 13 years old. His first wife was 17. He divorced her because she was too old. Yeah.
Well, it goes down to the fact that his bass player's daughter was his wife at one point and was also his second cousin.
Yeah.
So that's why it's really historically interesting for you to say that Jerry Lee Lewis shot his bass player, because it was his father-in-law.
Yeah, I don't think it was the same guy. I think it was a replacement bass player, but still, that is pretty hilarious.
I don't. It's just there's too much musician on bass player crime going on out there. And look, and when I get all my ducks in a row and everything, we'll have a march on Washington. Don't you worry about it.
The thunder
and we're gonna scream. 4 strings, do not shoot.
the million bass player march.
That's right.
The million bass.
Where'd you go, Will? Where are you?
Will, are you there?
Affected by aliens?
Nano?
Yeah, where did he go? Where's Will?
I have no idea where Will is.
He's with Waldo.
Oh, my God. Maybe he...
He's trying to find
cricket.
Yeah, because I was going to ask him about the Jerry Lee Lewis story, because he was the one that did it on the Rock History. Oh, okay, his microphone's off. You might have had to step out.
No, it was on. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you now.
Okay, that's
I
weird.
saw you on mute.
I just muted it to see what was happening. It wasn't muted, so I just thought I'd... Anyway, okay, that explains why you guys were not listening to me. Thunder, do you realize that you just admitted that bass players aren't musicians?
No, I did not say that.
Yes, you did. You said that there's too much musician on bass player violence going on out there.
Other musician on bass player violence.
That's not what you said. That's not what you said.
You do realize now, Thunder, that Will is going to bust your chops about this even more than Nelson.
I don't care.
It's over for
well,
you.
You do know what you call a bass player without a girlfriend, don't you?
A bass player?
No, a bass player.
Homeless.
What? Oh,
homeless.
Is that true, Thunder? Now
or
we
how do you get a bass player off your front porch? Do you know that one?
No.
You pay for the pizza.
Oh, fuck, really?
Oh, poor Thunder. You can't touch break at all.
God bless America. There goes my sleep tonight.
I know.
And, that reminds me, I'm going to take that Domino's magnet off my truck.
Well, there's the worst one of, how can you tell if a singer's at your front door? They can't find the key and never know when to come in.
Oh God, we could use that joke on so many. Actually, that could kind of come back to the whole Diamond David Lee Roth thing from earlier.
Well, the funny part is all these jokes were told to me when I got married for the first and actually last time, because I haven't gotten married a second time. But
smart man.
My father-in-law looked at me and said, "So you're a musician?" And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "You know what the difference is between you and this pizza?" And I said, "What?" And he goes, "This pizza can feed a family of 4."
That's right.
And I looked at him and I said, "That isn't." I told him, I said, "That is not true." And he said, "No." I said, "No, that pizza can only feed 2 people tops."
How many guitar players? Hold on, my turn. How many guitar players did it take to screw in a light bulb?
100. One to do it, and 99 to say I can do that.
That's right. There you go. Thank you. We're here all week. I had to have something. Can't just sit here idle.
It's okay, Thunder. It's okay.
All the jokes we were learning tonight on the Will.
Don't do it.
Now you can tell the drummers at your door.
Will, don't do that. Don't pat me on the head like I'm a dog. It's okay. Stop that.
It's okay, Thunder.
Anyway.
Aww.
We'll give you a Milky Bone after the show.
I want bacon.
Okay, well, we'll get you perfume. Does that work?
Exactly, bacon perfume. Yeah. All right, we're good now. All right.
You're good now. Okay,
fantastic. Surprise. Now you know what you're getting for Christmas.
God,
bacon flavored perfume.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, he was going to get the KK Downing perfume, but yeah, we're thinking the pizza or the bacon cologne might work better.
I always wanted to find those type of Christmas gifts that you could give your significant other to let them know you want the relationship to end for Christmas, but you didn't have the guts to really do it type of thing.
So I think that's called the 99-cent store.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I this is not a joke. This is 100% true. While making this record, I was dating this girl, and she was complaining about her ex because they were together for about 4 years, and her birthday came along, and for her birthday he gave her a 99-cent can opener.
Okay.
Nice.
And she couldn't, and a giant stuffed teddy bear from Walmart, because her birthday is near Valentine's Day, so they had those giant things. And those were the 2 things he gave her for her birthday after being together for 4 years, and it was a birthday/Valentine's Day present. And she kept looking at me, and she kept going, "You're not going to be this way, are you? You're not going to be that way, are you?" And I just kept laughing, going, "Well, damn, that was my out."
Yeah, you just ruined my backup plan, Dan.
I'm like, "Don't worry, I will not get you a can opener. Do you want a spatula?"
Yeah, I'll get you the electric can opener so you don't have to do the turning yourself.
No. You never want a woman's wrist to not be in shape.
Right. See,
wow.
That's a considerate.
Wow.
Even for me, that was cold.
I've got a great story like that as well. A good buddy of mine recently got divorced. And you hear stories about, when people get divorced, they'll take their ring and they'll throw it out in the ocean or they'll, whatever, throw it out in the yard. He went above and beyond. He was driving to work and was stopped at a red light. And there was a homeless man sitting there with a sign saying, food, help me, blah, 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 blah. He gave him his wedding ring. He said, "Go pawn that and get you a cheeseburger."
Hopefully he was able to actually get enough for a cheeseburger.
Well, exactly. But, I mean, yeah, he took his gold ring right off his finger and said, "You know what? I'm getting divorced. Here you go, buddy. Go get yourself something nice."
Was that you, Thunder, that did that?
No, it was not me. I'm still married.
No, but one of your last marriages?
No. But I did break up with my kid's mom on Christmas Eve.
Oh, Thunder.
You didn't give her anything, did you? And you wanted a way out. You thought that was easier, didn't you?
No. I found out she had cheated on me, so it was Christmas Eve, and the kids are in bed and everything, and I looked at her, I was like, I heard that you did something with a student named Tony. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, is it true? She's like, and I'm like, yeah, okay, well, move out tomorrow.
Oh, my God. You can't ever have a break being the bass player, I'm telling you. What, did she cheat on you with the guitar player? Or?
No, it was God, stop that.
So you used to have
I don't mean to make a joke, but...
Huh?
So
I didn't mean to make a
backbone?
joke. I'm sorry.
One at a time here, children. I didn't hear either one of you guys talking at the same exact time, so.
I said, so you used to have a backbone.
I still have a backbone. What are you talking about?
Well,
I'll let Will go there.
As my last little shred of dignity on this show, because I'm sure it ran out the door about 20 minutes ago.
We never bring ours anyway, so you know why not.
The drummer who Chris and I have been discussing, that's been a very funny guy, wanted to break up with the girl, didn't know how to do it, so he did the most ingenious thing I have ever seen in my life. He went to one of those cookie shops in the mall where you get those cookie cakes and they write like happy birthday and stuff on it.
Exactly.
He got a big cookie pie or cookie cake, however you want to call it, and had them write something on it, and he put it in the box, and he comes over to the studio and he's just laughing, and he goes, I might die tomorrow, so I want you to know that you're my best friend. And I said, why are you going to die tomorrow? And I opened up this box, because he just pointed at it, and I opened up this box and I saw a cookie, and that was my first response. I went, why? Is it a poisonous cookie? And he goes, okay, fat boy, read it. And I read it, and it said, sorry for the herpes.
Oh!
God.
Oh, man. I looked at him and I said, are you serious? And he goes, no, but it'll make her not call me back.
Oh, no.
Can you? I mean, that's just one of those things, it's like Christmas time right now, and you get a Christmas card like, oh, yeah, I haven't heard from this person in a while. What do you mean, go get checked? What the fuck is that about?
You get the cake or the one that says it's not your kid, or,
Right,
You are not
22 tickets for the Murray show.
As a matter of fact, I'm just going to randomly pick out addresses in the phone book, and I'm going to send a Christmas card with no name written on it. I'll be like, you need to go get checked. They're going to go through their fucking Rolodex of people they've been with and be like, what? I didn't get checked for what?
Send me this card.
Well, every man has this thought in his head, but they don't actually come out and say it about what their wife or girlfriend or whatever gets them for Christmas, because it's usually kind of lame. Let's be honest. So, but I told my wife the other day when she was telling me what she wanted, asking me what I wanted for Christmas, and I said, really? I said, I just want one thing for Christmas, actually two things, and they're both free. She says, really, what? I said, a blowjob and silence.
Well, wouldn't you get both at the same time?
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Not if she's good at it. I'm sorry, I said that out loud, dude. My inner monologue, I really need to work on that.
See, I dated this girl for a little while, and I had this roommate in Los Angeles, and she talked and talked and talked, excessively just talked. And we went out to eat one day, and she was talking about a job interview that she went to, and she goes, the guy doing the interview talked so much, I never got a word in. And my roommate looked at her and said, do you have video evidence of this?
Video or it didn't happen?
And she didn't understand that he just insulted her, and she goes, no, why? And he looked at me and went, she must be really good when she's gagged. I went, what?
Oh, my God. Oh, getting into the male psyche on the Will Thunder show.
I know, but this right here is why I love doing this show right here. The personalities and the people we get to meet. First of all, I want to thank you from the deepest part of my heart right here, because I love your sense of humor and the way you look at life. I promise you, brother. Look, we're cut from the similar cloth. I tell you that right now.
Wonderful, because usually I have people
much.
say I usually get thank you from the fattest part of my ass for you walking away, but thank you. I really appreciate that.
No, I love it. This is what it's all about right here. The music is fucking fantastic. What I like about doing this show is getting to know people like you right here, the people behind the music, and what drives you. And it tells a lot about the music when you get to know the person, because it's just, look, as good as your music is, I'm such a fan of you, period. That your music is going to be a part of my life from now on. I mean, I love it, man. God bless. I don't know how much. Tonight's show has been one of those shows where I've laughed more tonight. From our intros and us talking about tasing children, which you didn't hear that, or if you did, I'm sorry. But and where we're going here right now, talking about different diseases and cookie cakes and herpes. It's awesome. It does not get better than this. I don't care who you are. And I'll tell you something right now. You watch out, fucking Howard Stern, because you have never talked about a herpes cookie cake.
Oh, he will, but the sad part is he'll think it's his original idea, and we'll have to call him.
He will.
Yeah, that is true. You do bring up a good point there.
God love you guys.
Yes, I have a feeling you guys would enjoy Gary as much as I do, because he does make me laugh, and he's a very funny guy, and also very talented musician. So
he's very, very, very talented musician, and you've got to work with the likes of amazing musicians. And the cool thing is, working with those musicians, they've had the graciousness to work with you too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to be a part of that whole scene right there. And I mean, you played with superstars. I mean, what we've talked about tonight, it's amazing.
It's life, and I don't know what else to say to it. It's been very surreal going to being in Los Angeles and go from there back to Texas, because in Los Angeles it is a working town, and when you have any type of musician, the thing people forget when they look at any idol you want to, whether it be Slash or whether it be Les Claypool or whoever you choose to look at the end of their tour, they don't have any work till the next tour, and sometimes that's a year away. And they don't just sit at home and twiddle their thumbs and watch Comedy Central till 5 a.m. They they need to do something. And so you have all these guys that are doing all these side projects that never really get heard because they're not designed to be a mainstream thing. They're really just there so the voices in their head shut up and they can make a few bucks, but until the next tour. And that's where I come in. I get to work with a lot of these wonderful people. And then you go back to a place that's not saturated with that, and people look at you and they go, wow, you've worked with such and such. Do you make $1 million? And you look at them really strange because you can't fathom the fact that they really believe that if you know someone or worked with someone once, that you automatically should have $1 million. And because to you it's like, well, I sat in and I played this show at the Viper Room on Sunset, and I played in Johnny Depp's band, for an example. And so, wow, did you make $1 million? What's he like? What was it like on the set, the Pirates of the Caribbean? Do you remember 21 Jump Street? And you just kind of look at him funny and you go,
I played.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and they think that you guys hang out all the time, right? I mean, like, oh, you played in Johnny Depp's band. Well, when's he putting out another movie with, another Pirates movie? It's just,
I don't fucking know, dude. I sat there and strummed the guitar. Shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah,
and the one thing that I've really, and honestly, I'm going to be honest about this. Before we started doing this show, I still had that preconceived notion, of superstardom and, and how people would be, if you ran into somebody in L.A. or what have you, and you're starstruck. The more we do this show, people don't realize, whether you're a professional football player or a musician or an actor or an artist or whatever, you're human, man. You're just another fucking person here. And you know what? Right, like you play with all these great people, they expect, oh, you're a millionaire right here. You've done this, done that. No, man, I'm a musician. I'm working hard and I'm doing my thing. But
even if they are millionaires, a lot of people forget or don't realize that even the ones that are millionaires, most of the time, 90% of the money goes right back into the music, either for your live shows or for your equipment or whatnot. So, that's just a musician's life.
There is the life element of it, but the funny part about it is, to kind of backtrack for a second, one of the projects I did in between, was a band I put together called Lydia's Libido, and our original singer was a voice actress that did cartoons in the 80s, and we as a band kept getting asked about these cartoons that she was a part of, as if we were there and knew her at that point.
Right.
And we'd have people ask us what our favorite episode was of, because she did a voiceover for Jim and the Transformers and stuff like that, and did some video games. And they'd say, oh, what, do you remember that Transformers episode of this and this and this? And I'm like, I was 6. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be rude
that's
to
how
them.
That's how I met Gary in the first place, was from this band. So I admit I did that too, but I also I did that more as a fun thing. Like, well, I think my question was, if you guys ever wanted to take one of the songs that she sang on the show and redo it your way, what song would you want to do? And I thought that was more of a creative question than, hey, to remember the episode of Transformers where
or, whatnot.
This right, yeah.
Well, the funny part about it is there's an interesting backlash to that, because we got asked at this comic convention we did about what our favorite thing that she did prior to meeting us was, and I think it was, I forgot who answered the question, but the question's answer was, I don't know, I've never seen any of them. Because
but that's honest right there, Look, how can you expect someone? And I don't know how old you are. I'm guessing by the way you're talking right now that you're probably in your early 30s.
Yeah. And
okay.
Well, the funny part about
Transformers.
It's Transformers has had another life. The movies were a success.
Oh yeah,
it's had several reboots on as an animated series and whatnot, and video games, and the toy line has stayed around. But the funny part about us telling that person this answer was, all of a sudden we got told from another fan of hers wanting to know why we hate gay people. And we were all kind of sitting there going, what? And they said, well, you disrespected her fans, and you think her fans are beneath you, and it's a gay community, so you hate gay people. And we're kind of standing there going, no.
Yeah, and I kind of didn't get that either, because a lot of people did accuse you guys of that, and that's what made me mad, because I came into you guys and met you through her, and I was a fan too, so I was like, they've never said anything negative about the fan base. They've always welcomed the fact that they had sort of a ready-made audience because of her, and we're always appreciative of her fans. So I don't get where this BS theory is coming from. I've never seen it, and it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why people are reading into it that way, but it was just
I think the funny part about it was, and I really got. I have a lot of respect for both our former singers. I really do, and for everyone in that band. I have a lot of respect for them. I love them all dearly. But it was really strange to see, because our singer would love the blog and love to keep fans updated on what she was doing, and that's what you do. And she has a great rapport with her fans. And one of the stops we made on the road to eat was at Cracker Barrel. And if you're driving across America, that is a very readily available place to stop. And the food is pretty decent, and whatnot. And so she checked herself in at Cracker Barrel, and this person said that Jim would never eat at a Cracker Barrel. How dare you?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing right there. And as I said, what makes this show so cool is to bring the genuine, the genuineness of, that you're people too. Look, man, what the fuck do you mean I don't eat a fucking Cracker Barrel? I like corn fried steak as much as the next person.
Just real quick then, Gary, I got to do this just for you.
Oh, outrageous!
That's for you.
Cute.
Well,
seriously, man. What?
Hey,
just because.
Speaking of the show, we really do have to wrap it up because when it cuts off this time, it will cut us off too.
Oh, hell, we've gone an hour over and overtime. See, that's how much we love you, Gary.
Oh, yeah, you definitely have to come back on the
man.
show when the album's done.
Well, the album is done. Like I said, it comes out in January, and then the hard vinyl copies will be out on the tour that we're doing in February and March. They'll be available for live shows.
Well, real quick before our show has to end,
media.
can you give us your social media, all the stuff where we can find your material?
Facebook.com/The McGrath Project, Reverb Nation McGrath Project. It's on iTunes. It's on Spotify. It's on everything you can. Just search McGrath Project. It'll all pop up.
Awesome.
Right on, man. It's been so awesome to have you on the show, man. You're a great dude, man.
Yes,
Well,
thanks for coming on the show, Gary. I totally appreciate it.
Not a problem. Anytime.
Especially this last hour, man. Usually, within 15 minutes of the overtime, it's like, all right, well, let's go ahead and say our goodbyes and everything. Dude, I could talk to you for another 4 hours, man. You're awesome, dude.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to have you back, and maybe next time you can bring Andy in, and we'll, talk about midget drumming and bass playing and all that good stuff.
Absolutely, man.
Andy is a very funny guy, and I do have to say I've never known anyone to be more witty and more just awesome than
well,
what.
I had fun hanging out with you guys when I got the chance. So, yeah, you guys definitely have to come back on the show together so Will and Thunder can get a kick out of both of you guys.
Absolutely.
Out. But
we can make that happen. We have the technology.
And, dude, that is one of my favorite lines right there. I use it at work all the time. Anyway, dude, man, I'd love to keep in touch with you, brother. And you know what, dude, best luck to you with this new album coming out, Phoenix, man. 8 songs, we're ready to roll, man. And that last song, I'll tell you what.
Well, you got to keep playing it. We'd love it if you do.
We'll keep playing it. We're going to keep playing you, man. All right, appreciate it, brother. Thanks for taking some time out, man, and just shooting the shit, brother.
No worries.
Absolutely. Thanks, Gary. I enjoy the album, or have a great good luck with the tour and the album and all that good stuff. And I'll see you on Facebook.
All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks.
All right,
bye.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week on the Will and Thunder Show.
Hey guys.
All right, we'll have a good one, brother. See you later.
You're listening to the Will and Thunder Show.